the first thing is I'd like to welcome everyone to the conference call tonight. My name is Armin Morin, and you are on the Big Seminar Preview Series. We're going to be talking with a tremendous marketer tonight, and I'll tell you more about him in just a moment. But before we do, this is all part of our Big Seminar Preview Series that we're gearing up for the Big Seminar in Atlanta, Georgia. This is our fifth Big Seminar that we've done. Each time we get bigger, and in my opinion, we certainly get better each and every time. Some of the things that we're doing in Atlanta, Georgia is going to blow people away. There's never been a seminar in the internet marketing industry that has been put on the way that we're going to do it there. That's all I can tell you right now. I know it sounds kind of cryptic, but it's true, because once you experience what we've done at this particular event, it's going to be pretty amazing. We put together an all-star lineup of people that are going to be able to teach you how to take your business to the next level, whether you're building your business online, whether you're building it offline. In my opinion, you should be doing both, because that is how you're going to really explode your business. So we got all kinds of marketers that are going to be there. We got T. Harv Eker, John Childers, J.J. Childers, Alex Mondosian, Stephen Pierce, Sean Casey, Joe Polish, who's going to be on the call with us tonight. We're going to be talking with Mike Stewart, Michael Thornton, and myself as well, and I'm sure there's a few other people that I missed rattling off the top of my head. But these people are all coming to Atlanta, Georgia in order to teach you the necessary skills and techniques that are required to build your business. You know, I was on a call the other day with T. Harv Eker, and he was on this call with me on this very conference call on Tuesday night. And what he was talking about is that people had a blueprint that they've been programmed with from the very beginning that limits them in their success in their business. Well, what we're going to attempt to do, and I shouldn't even say attempt, but what we are going to do in Atlanta, Georgia, is literally break through that barrier and bring you to the next stage, giving you everything that you need from a mental aspect, plus the technical skills and abilities that you need in order to do it. And we're going to literally compact 10 years worth of information in just a few short days, literally decades worth of information. Many of these people have charged thousands of dollars in order to consult with them. In fact, Joe charges over $10,000 a day, and people are more than willing and happy to pay that fee just to speak with him alone. That's not even including all of our other speakers that we're going to have teaching you at this particular event. Now, here's what I want to do. I'm going to do something a little unusual on this call tonight. Now, right now I put up a bonus on the last call that we had I'm carrying out for the next few days, and that is the people that sign up now for the big seminar are not only going to receive all the bonuses that we're giving away, over $2,000 worth of bonuses, but we're also going to give them the full recording of the seminar after it's done, meaning we normally sell these CDs of the event. We're going to give you a special CD of this event, all condensed for you, and we're going to send that to you after the event if you sign up over the course of the next 7 days, and that's what we're going to do for you. So it's important that you sign up and register your seat. The hotel is almost filled up completely. There's about 50 seats left the last time I checked, and that was several days ago as far as how many seats are left in the hotel. There's another hotel next to us. But also I'm going to give you something else. For those people that sign up in the next 60 minutes for the seminar, I'm going to give you a recording that I did, and I've never, ever seen this fail. And hundreds of people have this recording, and I only normally sell it at a live event, and it's called Double Your Sales in 60 Days. There's 10 different things. If you do these 10 things, I 100% guarantee you will double your online business in 60 days or less. I say 60 days because it sounds pretty good, but most people can do it in about a week, and you will double what you're currently making online. If you sign up for the seminar right now, I will send you that MP3 file in the next 24 hours, and you can start implementing these techniques on your business tonight with your call sheet by tomorrow, and have it all done before the seminar. So it's just an amazing call. It's over a $300 bonus gift that we're going to give you just for signing up tonight on in the next 60 minutes for this particular conference call for the seminar itself. But with that said, those of you that are interested, go ahead and sign up right now. But what I want to do right now is tell you about our featured speaker that we're talking to right now, and we're talking with Joe Polish. And Joe is, again, a tremendous marketer. He has consulting with people from all over the world, and they pay literally over $10,000 a day just to hear his advice and to find out. I mean, just for example, in Joe's office, if you stop by his office, he's going to be talking with people like Joe Sugarman, who's a world-class copywriting legend, like John Carlton, Dan Kennedy, Robert Allen, Mark Victor Hansen. In fact, that's where I met Joe, was at Mark Victor Hansen's mega marketing event last year. The people that he has in his network are just amazing. Television news shows like ABC 2020 use him as an advocate for ethical advertising. He's been featured in Mentors magazine. He's just a tremendous person that can really effectively change your business in ways that you can't possibly imagine. And we're going to find out how he ticks, what he does, and we're going to do all that tonight on this call. So, Joe, I'd like to welcome you to the conference call tonight.
Thank you very much, sir.
And, Joe, there's a lot of people. I have to tell you a story because it's really funny.
I like that. I like funny things, and that's really one of the themes.
I had my carpets cleaned recently in my house.
Good.
I know some people may be thinking, well, what's this have to do with Joe? But we'll get to that part. So all of a sudden, I had received a package from Mark Victor Hansen, that is, and it was sitting on my table in my dining room. And the guy says, I know that guy, right? And he was talking about you. And he had been to your seminar. And it was
the carpet cleaner had.
He's a carpet cleaner.
That's funny.
And so it's like, yeah, he's speaking at our next event and everything. And so actually, I'm working on this guy now. Because he's coming back over to my house, and he'll be coming to my seminar.
That guy, yeah, he better be coming to the thing. Well, no, I mean, yeah. So for all the listeners, one of the things I do is I'm the largest marketing consultant in the world to the carpet cleaning industry.
Now, a lot of people may be thinking, well, what does that really mean? But you have literally changed the lives of in that industry. We're just going to talk about carpet cleaners right now. But those people, now I heard from someone from somewhere, and in fact maybe it was you. But if you open up a telephone book literally anywhere in the country, you're going to see someone running one of the ads that you created for carpet cleaners.
Yeah. Not only for carpet cleaners, but it could be in multiple industries. I have licensees and clients in, heating, air conditioning, pest control, auto sales, florists, jewelry, home remodeling. You name it. There's not a major phone book in any major city that you would not be able to pick up and at least find one or many of my ads that are either direct ads out that I've taught our clients to use that are in my marketing programs, or derivatives of things that I've taught them using pre-recorded messages and, just very effective direct response stuff.
Now, that's pretty key because I want to hone in on that a little bit. And because the keywords that you just used there was direct response. And just so everyone on this call understands, is that when we're talking about direct response, we could be talking about online, we could be talking about offline. And you're going to hear Joe talking, probably a little bit of both on this particular call, but I just want you to remember that direct response can mean a wide variety of things, and Joe really has a specialty as far as direct response marketing that's effective and that works out really well. Now, Joe, what I want to do is I want to kind of give people a little background on you, how you got started, and how you get started in business itself.
Okay, very good. And also let me say something right at the very beginning of this call, just so people have some context of who they're listening to, because there's always this. I always think about. There's a great line from the Robert Collier Letter book, which is a great book on copywriting, that you want to enter a conversation that's already existing in your prospect's mind whenever you're writing some sort of sales promotion. And there's a lot of people that are listening on this call. You do big calls. I imagine you probably have several hundred, if not over 1,000 people that are on this call right now listening. And every single person's taken an hour and a half of their time. They had to plan it. Time is very valuable. I appreciate that. And I want people to actually get the most out of it. So there's a big question that's going through people's minds, okay, why should we listen to this guy? What are we going to get out of it? And so what I want everyone to know, I will talk about things that are carpet cleaning related. And why? Because that's how I started out. I was a carpet cleaner. I had no real rational reason for getting into the business of being a carpet cleaner other than I went to a high school with a buddy of mine who suggested, in my very early 20s, that let's start a carpet cleaning business. So I went out and spent $1,500 and got some chemicals, some equipment, got some business cards that said professional carpet cleaner, and overnight I was a entrepreneur, or at least I thought I was. And so I just kind of got into that business, and I learned marketing and everything that I do now that I teach, not because I ever thought I would be speaking at a seminar, writing books, manuals, consulting with all kinds of clients in all kinds of industries. I learned marketing and direct response, and I'll explain what I mean by that in a moment, because I needed to feed myself. And the first 2 years of my business, I lived off credit cards. I was broke. It's a long, painful story, which no one really is all that interested in hearing. The context I want everyone to understand, though, is I learned this stuff not because I wanted to write books about it. I learned it because I needed to eat, and I was able to take a business which literally cost me more money to be in business. Thank God I had credit cards, to something that actually is now, I now run a multi-million-dollar business and have done so for many years. But the point is, direct response, just to define it, is, there's image advertising, which is kind of like name recognition. What you do, name, rank, serial number, that's the typical business ad. And then there's direct response. And so institutional or image advertising is designed to get your name out there, and direct response is designed to get your name out there and get a response back. And so for all the people that could and should be coming to the big seminar, a lot of them are going to be offline marketers. A lot of them are going to be online marketers. I believe the majority will be internet marketers. I am an offline guy. Do I make money on the internet? Absolutely. We do a lot of business on the internet, use all of the same formulaic techniques that I use offline are applied online, because the way that I look at the internet is it's a delivery system. It's no different than a yellow page ad, or a direct mail letter, a postcard, TV, radio, door-to-door selling, whatever. I mean, those are all delivery systems. It's a way to get a message out there. And so in an expert on the internet, I mean, if anyone has any inkling of learning capabilities in the internet business, I ended up meeting you really as a result of Alex Mandossian.
Yeah.
Alex is brilliant. I mean, anyone that is going to spend, the next 3 months even looking at a website that has something to sell would be crazy, not even just to hear what Alex is going to talk about at your event. I mean, the guy is unbelievable. You're unbelievable. I mean, it's a great model. So
you're not taking any internet marketing advice from Alex, are you?
Of course I am. I take internet marketing advice from you. One thing I do know is that school is never out for the pro. And, my friend Dan Kennedy actually taught me that early on. And, you got to be coachable. I mean, there's people that are coachable and people that are uncoachable. But the fact is, there's nothing I want to say because I kind of go on tangents, but hopefully they'll be useful tangents. I don't think anybody wanted to get on this teleseminar tonight. I don't think anyone wants to go to the big seminar. I don't think anyone wants to invest in books or listen to CDs or any of that stuff, be on teleseminars. The reason people do it is because they want results. They want to do better in business. They want to go into their own business. Now, here's something that I didn't learn right away. You can learn through the school of hard knocks and through the experiences of others. And I really learned in the beginning just bumbling around, getting beaten up every day, not making any money until I figured out that, there's other people that have actually figured out how to be more successful at running a business, marketing a business than I have. They actually have written books on it. They actually do seminars on it. And so everyone that's listening tonight, I mean, really what they're looking for is capabilities. And that's how you actually acquire capabilities. You go to people that have figured it out and are willing to share it with other people. So if there's one hope that I have during this call, is not only to impart some insight from my own experience. I mean, you're not paying me to be on this call. I do charge $10,000 a day for consulting. I actually turn clients down. I've been hired by and consult with all kinds of well-known people, from Brian Tracy, Michael Gerber, my wonderful friend Dan Sullivan at Strategic Coach, brilliant business thinker, Bill Phillips, the creator of Body for Life, EAS Sports Supplements. Just did a brainstorm session at his house with 65 people. I mean, I made Bill millions of dollars. He's a brilliant guy. Started an HBO show in April. His new show comes out. I mean, I've dealt with one-person operations. I've dealt with multi-million-dollar businesses, and these marketing techniques apply to everyone. And my hope is that the people listening at the end of this call will be disturbed by inaction, meaning if they don't register to come to this event, then they're probably not all that serious about having success in their business. Now, I'm not saying that in an insulting way. That there are financial situations, and there are people that are really thinking, well, could I do it? Should I do it? Is it a good investment? I mean, it's all a trust issue. So hopefully, at least from my standpoint, I could share some things that will help the listener. And if they say, hey, this guy has something that I would like to learn, then I'm happy to teach people and help people with it, because all I did in my marketing business is I just created the system that I wish had existed when I first got into the business, so that people wouldn't have to go through the same, horrible situation that I did with working in the beginning. And of course, I make money and I make a profit from it, but I make it by creating value for other people, and my stuff works, and we have tons of evidence to support that. So that's what I want to talk about.
Now you have some very unique strategies. I mean, and when I say unique strategies, I mean just ways of, I guess it's a way of thinking more or less as far as marketing goes than a lot of other people. It's a lot of times it's taking the obvious and just building upon the obvious, such as like your ELF marketing strategy.
Yeah, well, let me explain ELF.
Yeah.
I recently did a Nightingale Conant program, and it's cool. And I had to plug it right there, by the way. And one of the whole themes of the whole program is what I figured out just a couple years ago when I take all of the different systems that I have used. I wanted to categorize them, and I also wanted to categorize my curiosity, my pursuit, because a lot of times I'll come up with really crazy ideas and methodologies and marketing models, and I have to, kind of fine-tune them until they actually make sense to other people. They'll make sense in my mind, but they don't always make sense to other people, and, what I usually do is just apply them, and then the results speak for themselves. What I was able to do is take all of the things that I use, from free recorded messages, consumer guides, referral programs, ways of selling things more effectively, and we call it ELF marketing, and not like little small, elves, tiny people. It's ELF standing for easy, lucrative, and fun. And I just want everyone to write this down if they have a pen and they're not driving, unless you can paint and write while you drive. I'm kidding. All right. ELF marketing is the type of marketing that I teach, and it stands for easy, lucrative, and fun. And I realize that through doing this over a decade is that you can have either an ELF business or you can have a half business, and an ELF business is the way to go. A half business is hard, annoying, lame, and frustrating versus an easy, lucrative, and fun business. And there are some businesses that are hard, annoying, lucrative, and frustrating, and there's lots of ways to make money in the world. You live in the U.S. and Canada. I mean, we live in a great capitalistic society where if you can't make money in this country, if you can't apply opportunities here, you're just, I don't know what to tell someone. The opportunities are there if you discover them and if you find the right knowledge and you use it. And so when it comes to like a half business, I look at everything that I could possibly spend my time on and say, is this ELF or can it be made to become ELF? Because I don't care how much money you make. If you have to earn it in very hard, annoying, frustrating ways, what's the point? When I first got into business, I thought I was getting into business to make money. And it took me a while to realize that after doing things wrong that, I could probably go get a job, work half the time I'm working here, and actually even maybe have more money at the end of the month than my bills consist of. I mean, my first 2 years in business, in my carpet cleaning business, it was pure misery. And it was ELF, and it was half. It was nowhere near ELF. And so, if you learn things that other people are doing that can make it easier and you apply it, that's the easiest way to do it. And so everything that I spend my time on, I try to say, okay, is this something that I really enjoy? Because I never wanted money in the beginning after I figured it out. I wanted freedom and I wanted independence. And as being an entrepreneur, you have to have money in a capitalistic society in many cases to have certain types of what I would define as freedom or independence. The best medical care, access to the best relationships. I say if you like going jet skiing and you don't have enough money to go jet skiing, then you can't have that fun. But if you can, you just bought yourself a little bit of fun. And so money allows you to solve a lot of problems that not having money creates. And so from that context, independence and freedom is what it's all about. And so all of the behaviors that you use in business should be applied towards giving you more freedom and independence, including the type of marketing that you do. And that's where I came up with ELF marketing.
Now, what would you say, in your opinion, when it comes to marketing and when it comes to business, what would you say the three, and let's just talk about three, drastic mistakes that people make?
Well, I guess let me see three. There's a lot of them. The biggest one is not having a marketing mindset. The biggest problem that I see most people that are not successful in business have is they just don't have the right mindset. They undervalue the value of marketing. It doesn't matter if you're a great manager or if you're great with people, or you are real computer savvy, if you're very organized. If you've got no clients to sell to, then you still aren't going to have any money. So I always put marketing as the fuel that allows you to drive the car. You can have the car completely built. It could be solid. It could be a wonderful vehicle, but if you have no gasoline to drive it, then it ain't going anywhere. Same with bread. You could have all the ingredients in the bread, but if you leave out the yeast, it's not going to rise when you bake it. And so I look at marketing as the yeast in the bread. I look at marketing as the fuel that makes the engine go. And so not having a marketing mindset is critical. It's a mistake when people don't, where they don't put any attention into marketing, or they think they're going to hire it out, and they don't learn the method to the madness, but hope that they're going to benefit from it. A second mistake would be being a transaction marketer versus a relationship marketer. In the beginning of my business, I never realized it takes 5 to 6 times the amount of money and effort to get a new client as it does to just take someone that's done business with you before and service them again. And so I focused all of my energy on transactions. Let's just sell a job. Let's just sell a product versus let's service a client, make them happy. They'll give me money again, they'll hire me again, and they'll tell other people about it. So, being a transaction-focused business person versus a relationship-focused. If you become relationship-focused, it can make all the difference in the world. I mean, one of my most profitable activities in my business in the carpet cleaning industry is I have a program called Platinum Plus, where we have over 100 individual business owners that pay $10,000 a year to be part of the Platinum Plus program. And not only do they get enormous value because the renewal rate is very high, I'm in the 4th year of doing it, in a very small industry, but I give away cars every year. First year I gave away a convertible Jaguar that actually Bill Phillips gave me as a gift for helping to make a lot of money. And then second year I gave away a brand new Hummer. Last year I gave away a Corvette. This year I'm giving away my convertible Mercedes. And it's because I'm, from these revenues that I bring in as a result of doing these contests and the wonderful results people get, it's all based on relationships. And so year after year, they just, as long as I continue to deliver value, that they continue to give me money. And then another mistake would be using institutional or image advertising and thinking name recognition is what's going to make you successful versus using direct response. And I can babble off a lot more mistakes, but those are 3 big ones. And so, everyone just really focus on selling relationships, really focus on having a powerful message, and, create value for people. And if you do, they will do business with you over and over again. And so getting into, I'll let you ask me any questions you want, but I can specifically talk about what, how this would apply to any type of business, what some of the actual techniques are. I mean, I certainly want to teach people today.
Yeah, let's go into the actual details, so feel free.
Okay. Well, one thing I learned early on is the importance of a message. And I'll ask everybody listening to just jot things down on paper every once in a while because I think it'll help you to remember. In the beginning, I didn't have any marketing. All I was doing was selling. And the difference between sales versus marketing is selling is what you do when you're in front of somebody or you're on the phone with somebody. This is how 99% of all businesses generate business. It doesn't matter if it's consumer to consumer, business to business, business to consumer. Most people do selling. They don't use marketing. Most people don't even understand what marketing is. So marketing is what you do to get somebody on the phone or face-to-face with you properly positioned. Positioning is a very important thing. So again, sales is what you do when you're on the phone or in front of someone. Marketing is what you do to get someone on the phone or in front of you, positioned to be pre-qualified, pre-motivated, pre-interested, and predisposed to giving you money. I'll say that again. You want prospects to be pre-interested, pre-motivated, predisposed, pre-qualified to give you money. And you can do all of your selling in advance with the right type of marketing message. And so in the beginning, all I was doing was sales. I was handing out business cards. I was talking to neighbors. I was begging jobs from my friends and family. I mean, anything that I could do to get a job. If I did advertise, which I did a lot of, my goal was to get my name out there because I believe that, name recognition, which most ad reps will tell you, well, the reason your advertising is not working is, people just haven't seen it enough, as if someone receives a Valpak type coupon, every month and they need to see your name or logo 6 times or 6 months in a row before they actually do business with you. It's total nonsense, but it's what's taught to people all the time. So I didn't know anything about marketing, and I wasn't using marketing. Secondly, I didn't understand the value of a message. And one thing I say all the time is that the difference between a $1 bill and a $100 bill is the message on the paper. If anyone was to pull paper money out of their pocket right now and look at it, same ink, same paper, one piece of paper is infinitely more valuable than another one. Why is that? Well, it's because the message is different. So once I figured out that advertising, be it on the web, internet, all the internet is an electronic brochure. The
Sure.
message that you use, what is marketing? It's what you say and who you say it to, how you bring them in. I mean, the big seminar, they're going to learn lead generation on the internet. They're going to learn lead generation in all types of different ways, which is what I'm going to teach people. They're going to learn how to convert people. It's what you say and who you say it to. And so here I had a carpet cleaning business, had no idea how to construct a powerful, compelling message. And again, going back to I was briefly mentioning it, is real estate is the way you want to look at the website. Real estate is how you want to look at a business card, the side of a van, a yellow page ad, a postcard, a flyer, whatever. It's real estate, and what you build on it has a lot to do with how valuable it is. And so I used to run all these types of ads that said, 2 rooms. I used to use price is one of the ways. 2 rooms in a hall for $39.95. And I would just copy what everyone else is doing because I thought that's how you actually generate business. I really didn't have an effective message. All I had was price. And once I learned direct response, I won't go into how I actually learned it, other than I was given a newsletter by a buddy of mine that was about direct response, and I proceeded to start going to seminars and buying videos, and that's how I actually learned. I'm a convert of my own system, and so I learned how to take a small ad or a business card or a flyer and put a much more effective message on it. So I'll give some people some advice right now on things that they could do. For instance, if you have a business card that says your name, your phone number, your company name, and you want to make it more compelling, you could put on the back of the business card, let's say it's a carpet cleaner. Warning, don't call any carpet cleaner until you listen to this free recorded message. Call anytime, 24 hours a day. Learn 7 questions to ask a carpet cleaner before you invite him into your home, or 4 ways to avoid getting ripped off by unethical carpet cleaners. Call anytime, 24 hours a day. You add these 3 words, free recorded message, to any space ad, any paper ad, any business card, onto a website, much of what you do with Audio Generator, it just adds the element of being able to communicate more effectively. And so I started adding free recorded messages on everything that I did. And now I was able to take a yellow page ad, and instead of competing with all the other yellow page ads that look the same, I would drive people to 24-hour free recorded messages that would educate consumers on things that they didn't even know that they didn't know. And there's something that I learned when it comes to education-based marketing, which is what I teach people to do, and this is what I'm going to go really deep into talking about at the big seminar, is that life gives to the giver and takes from the taker. And even in a capitalistic environment where you're selling goods and services, the more you give people, the more likely it is that they're going to reciprocate. And here's one thing that the majority of people's competitors absolutely do not do. They don't educate people on anything. They use logos. They try to look pretty. They say a bunch of boastful claims like we've been in business for this long, we're certified, we're this, we're that, all these credentializing things that are talking about how great they are. They don't really bring it down to, and I'm not saying when I say they, I'm talking about the majority of people's competitors that would never in a million years take the time to listen to a call like this or attend a seminar where someone might actually have answers to some of these things on how to do it better. And so I applied free recorded messages. It was one of the first things I did to my carpet cleaning business. What happened? Did I start spending more money on advertising? Did I buy better equipment? Did I get better training? No, I didn't do any of those things. All I changed was the message that I was communicating on the same mediums that I was using And I took a business in a 6-month period from $2,100 a month gross to over $12,000 a month with one van, and voila, I was able to get an employee and quit, cleaning carpets myself, which I've done, a lot of. And so now I then started thinking, well, if this actually would work for me, I wonder if it would work for other people, because I would always be a guy that would go to seminars. I became a director of a trade association, brought all the educational courses to Arizona, where I live in Tempe, Arizona. I heard we got a couple people in Scottsdale, which are right down the road.
Right.
But basically, I've always been big on getting education, because it's the best investment you could ever make. And so, I was at a seminar one day just learning how to, clean carpets better. And a couple of people were asking, how do you generate business to the seminar leader? And he had no clue what he was talking about when he came to talking about advertising. And he's saying, say 40% off on everything you sell. And I said, well, I raised my hand and I said, I've got this really neat technique where I have a 10-minute free recorded message, and whenever someone calls it, they hear, crawling critters and crud, a guide to the slime, grime, and livestock that's seeping, creeping, and galloping through your carpet. 8 costly misconceptions about carpet cleaning. Questions, ask a carpet cleaner before you invite them into your home. All these things that consumers would typically not have any idea they didn't have any idea about. And they listen to the free recorded message, and the free recorded message sifts, sorts, and screams tire kickers from people that are genuinely interested. And I get a ton of people that call me up, and the first thing out of their mouth is not how much do you charge, which is what it used to be for me. They always ask, how can I hire you? Because my free recorded message does all the selling for me better than I could even do if I was face-to-face. I mean, you can listen to me right now, Armin. I'm not kidding you. I have high ADD. I have the attention span of a gnat, and I can jump into a million different tangents. And if someone was to listen to one of my free recorded messages, because I can script it, I can be very articulate, I can do a much more effective job letting a robot do my selling for me than if I had to do it selling. I mean, I'm doing manual work right now.
Right.
And I sell $1 million a year worth of courses in just the cleaning niche with robots. Free recorded messages, sales letters, free reports, the internet. I mean, I don't talk to these clients, and not only do they buy all of this stuff from me, they get so much value from it and so much business, they buy more.
Well, just that one technique alone. I mean, I know, many of the people here listening to the call, I mean, they're on the net, and they may be thinking, well, how can I do it on the net? Well, my point is, don't do it on the net. People are already used to using a telephone. They're more likely to call a number than many other things. There's still some leeriness even about the internet to this day. I mean, I know it, and I fully admit it. I don't try to kid myself that it's not there. But if you give the person an option to get more information by picking up a phone and listening to them, you're just kind of meeting, offline and online like that. And it's a simple technique that, I mean, I believe that everyone on this call, I mean, what Joe just described, you can do it to your business literally tomorrow.
Absolutely.
And it can work for you, and I think what it's also going to do is that there's what I refer to as internet purists out there, meaning you have an internet business, so all your business should be on the internet. And no, that's just one aspect of your business, and so you do need to be offline as well too. And this is just a simple way that you can do it that doesn't cost a lot of money, but will work for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I mean, just what you said. I mean, $1 million worth of sales from these robots basically that you have working for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You did the work once, and they do all the work from now on, and you don't have to do it.
Yeah, well, see, great point. And here's what I want all the listeners to get out of this. This is not just effective marketing that works and is totally trackable. It is totally robotic, because when you start using free recorded messages, that's just one thing. I mean, literally, I have hundreds of different techniques. I'm just talking about one, and I wanted to go a little deep with it because I don't want anyone getting off this call saying this wasn't valuable. I realize that several hundred or over 1,000 people spending an hour and a half to listen to me and you, I want them to walk away, even if they never buy anything from me, don't come to the seminar, whatever. I want them to walk away going, Armin actually organized something that was valuable. If you're in business, what I just told you has made people millions of dollars. You can use it. You don't have to use it. If you get caught in your head that I'm in the internet, how am I going to use this? Here's what you got to get out of this. This is not about a medium. I mean, there's 3 things you need in order to sell. You need a product or service. And so there's people on the line that could, sell e-books. They could sell carpet cleaning. They could be poodle groomers. They could sell food supplies. They could have a restaurant. You need a product or service is the first thing you need. You need a sales pitch or marketing message, and you need a delivery system. What 99% of all people focus on is what it is they sell, their product or service, and their delivery system. How are we going to deliver to people? We're going to use a website, which is an electronic brochure. We're going to use flyers. We're going to do face-to-face selling. We're going to use telemarketing, the Goodyear blimp, a direct sales letter. I mean, what are we going to use? Direct mail? So what I teach people how to do is, if you improve the sales pitch, if you understand how to communicate in ways that compels people to notice you versus the other options available, then in many ways you've become a marketing psychologist. See, people that get hung up on this doesn't apply to me. I sell apples and this guy sells oranges, so I can't possibly see what I can learn from this. If you have that type of mindset, you're not going to get it. And so what is important is the psychology, not the technology.
Right.
If you learn the psychology of marketing and how to communicate messages that compel people, you have such an incredible advantage, because you can apply that if you go offline. You can apply it if you go online. All of the people that genuinely make large sums of money on the internet, and many of them are friends of mine that run multi-million-dollar businesses. I have very good friends. I mean, you take David Bach, who wrote the book The Automatic Millionaire.
Right.
He's speaking at my next boot camp. Carpet cleaners. This guy's got 4 New York Times bestsellers. His CEO is a guy by the name of Stephen Klein. Brilliant guy. Took an internet company public, when he was 28 years old. He understood the psychology of marketing. I don't know anyone that makes money on the internet or anywhere that doesn't understand marketing to a certain degree, or just got really darn lucky.
Sure.
And I'm talking about real ethical businesses too. I'm not talking about selling tobacco, selling porn. I mean, there's all kinds of things that you can do to make money that I don't consider creating value, but I consider real entrepreneurs are people that create value and get paid for it. And that's what entrepreneurism is. And what I'm talking about has nothing to do with what you sell or how you sell it. It's how you construct and uniquely package it to make the dollar bill, the website, the whatever, more valuable real estate.
And I think that's the key in businesses, just as you said it, is the value behind it. So many times in this market, and if anyone's guilty, it's their own fault, not mine, when I say this. And that is, so many times I see people, and this is a big pet peeve of mine, is that and I'm just going to talk about the internet a little bit, and that is they write an ebook, and I get an ebook, and I'm really disappointed in it, really, because it may be 30 pages, and I don't mind buying a book that's 30 pages long. I really don't. $20 for 30 pages if it tells me everything that I need to know, everything that they promised me in that sales letter, because that was the premise under which I bought it for. So if they give me at least equal value to it, then I'd be happy. But if you go beyond and above what the value that you promised, then you're going to win the heart of that customer, so they're going to get the repeat business.
Absolutely.
And that is what we need to really do, is really over-deliver as far as the value aspect of the products and services that we have as people doing business. And I don't care if it's online or offline, but that's going to distinguish you between you and your competitors that much more. And that's what I think, everyone that's listening on the call, I mean, we've all talked about ebooks at one point or another, or we've talked about software, we've talked about other products, and many of you market some of these things. Think of different ways that you can add more value to what you're doing, and many times that value is just something very small. We get calls all the time because a long time ago, Alex Mondosian, who many people know is a great friend of mine and one of my business partners in a couple projects.
And he's a handsome fellow too.
He says that he is, but I have my doubts.
He's got a cool wife though. She at least makes him look good. So.
No, she's very beautiful.
Yeah. So, anyway.
But Alex,
can we spend the rest of the call just pretty much just dissing on Alex? That would be really entertaining, and I think all the listeners would enjoy that.
Because I'm at a hotel in Santa Ana right now, and I'm going down to meet Alex right after this call.
Oh, good.
So I can tell him what we talked about him. But what he told me early on, and he said he did something very, very different, and he said that he called every one of his customers after they placed an order, and I was like, well, I couldn't possibly do that. I said, you're selling a higher end product and you're selling fewer of them. I'm selling a lower end products and I'm selling a lot of them. And there's no way I'm going to sit down and I'm going to make all these phone calls. But then it got to the point, and it wasn't really at that point. My business actually probably doubled or tripled, and then I started thinking about that concept again. And now I'm thinking, well, it's even harder for me now to even call those customers. But I kept coming back to it. So what I did is we got to the point where now I have one person, and what they do, their whole job is to simply call every order we get every day.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's an individual human being that does this.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's fabulous.
And we have they physically call them. For example, everyone that registers for the seminar, within 24 hours, they'll receive a phone call from Judy, and she'll say, "This is Judy calling from a big seminar, and we just want to thank you for registering your seat for the seminar. We want to make sure that you received everything that you needed. And we want to make sure that you register for your hotel." Because of the hotel discount, we give them the phone numbers and we give them our airfare discount codes and things of that nature. And even on our products, we call them to make sure on the products. Now, there's also a selfish reason for doing this. We don't upsell them at this point, even though I could. That could be my next step. But really, my reasoning for doing this on a selfish standpoint is that I verify the order because on the internet there is a fraud issue. And we've ran into it. So I avoid any kind of chargebacks. I call the customer to make sure that they are a real customer. If I don't get a hold of that customer in 48 hours, or if they don't email us back letting us know, because if we don't get a hold of them on the phone, we email them as well. And if they don't respond back, I refund the order immediately.
Wow.
And so there's a little bit of a selfish reason on it.
Well, see, and I never do that because I actually the best thing that I enjoy is being the head of the sales prevention department.
Yeah.
And if I was doing anything along those lines, because I love that, and that's a joke, by the way. There's the sales prevention department. I could see someone taking notes right now. Head sales prevention department. I love that. There's this crazy company called Despair Inc. and they take motivational quotes and posters and they turn them in reverse. And they have one where there's a telephone with spider webs all over it, and it says, if these customers quit bugging us, then maybe we can get some work done, or something along those lines. It's actually very funny. And I just want to interject real quickly because I might have interrupted you right in the middle of your story.
But that comment though that you just made is that about the customers getting in the way and things.
Right.
That's a very common thing though.
Oh, it's a totally common thing. I mean, I'm in. What's funny when I tell people, if I can make this work for carpet cleaning, don't even give me some excuses that you can't make it work for your business. And I explain this to people. If you're a carpet cleaner, you are selling a service that nobody wants to buy.
Right.
Nobody wakes up and says, "Man, I can't wait for my kids to go back to school so I can get the carpets cleaner. I can't wait for for the rain outside so we can just trudge mud through the house, or I can't wait till I get a flood so we can just call a carpet cleaner." I mean, cleaning carpets is something that you have to do because it's one of the unnecessary evils of owning the stuff.
Right.
It's like owning a car. Nobody says, "Man, I can't wait till I drive another 3,500 miles so I can get my oil changed."
Right.
Nobody likes doing that. And so I actually have to teach people how to sell a service that nobody wants to buy. People love going to movies. People love going to restaurants. They love buying clothes. They love doing things that are entertaining. Nobody likes buying carpet cleaning.
Right.
And so therefore, it's even more of a stretch for me to communicate to people how do you not only sell the stuff, but how do you make it easy, lucrative, and fun? How do you make it enjoyable? And we figured out how to do that. And what I've taken out of what you said, and we've had no conversation about talking about this. There was no agenda for this call. I said, "You got any questions for me?" You're like, "No, we're just going to talk," which is fine. And what you just said is it's what I would call going deep versus going shallow. When you call every one of your clients on the phone, after they register, you're going deep with the relationship. You're not just selling a seminar. What you're doing is you're bonding.
Right.
And this is what most companies don't do, is they do not bond. Everyone should write that down. Bond with your clients. If you don't bond with clients, then you have customers. And there's a difference between customers and clients. Customer implies somebody that buys something from you. Client implies someone that you have a relationship with. And what you're doing by making that phone call is you're starting the relationship. And so, I don't call every single client. Actually, we use voice broadcast because it's a very robotic method of marketing. I actually send out thousands of of automatic phone calls that are just on people's answer machines. And I'm not talking about auto dialers. I'm not talking about sending messages to people that are unsolicited like mortgage companies do that sound like, that's intrusive. I don't use any of these things in intrusive ways. We do it to people that we already have a relationship. I teach my clients to use it. We do it with existing clients, not cold prospects. And basically, I bond by sending out postcards, sending out personal cards. I mean, at Christmas and the holidays, I have all kinds of robotic systems where we send personalized, in the thousands of postcards out to people, real ones, not just over the internet. We use internet and drip on people, but I have my ways of bonding with people. And the reason you have hundreds, thousands of people that are listening to this call today, think about this. Everyone that's listening to this, a lot of them actually found you online, but now they're offline on a real telephone listening to real people having a phone conversation talking about something.
Exactly.
You don't do that without bonding and creating some sort of experience with people on a different level. And everyone should look at what you do. When they say this marketing and selling that you're going to teach at the big seminar doesn't work, I don't think it'll work. First off, you wouldn't be on the phone call right now if this stuff didn't work. You wouldn't have bought anything from Armin, and I know you got many clients on the phone. You wouldn't have bought anything from Alex if this stuff works. It's just a matter of when does the person make the decision that they're going to start using it in their own existing opportunity.
You just said you said a lot of key things, but one thing in particular, and just that in the last bit there, and you said that a decision. And this is what's really interesting. I mean, I know you've studied I've studied a lot of people, and you know a lot of people, and I've done a lot of research as far as people and when they achieve their success. And what's really interesting about that is that I've always discovered that once a person actually made the decision, the true decision, because many times we think we made a decision, but we really didn't. We didn't really believe it. But when we, in our heart, actually made that decision to make a difference in our business, in our life, or whatever it may be, I've always found that it was within 90 days their business totally did a complete 180-degree turnaround.
Yes.
It's like magic.
Can I say something to that?
Yeah, go ahead.
The people that there's two types of entrepreneurs, and I actually learned a lot of my thinking on entrepreneurship from my very good friend Dan Sullivan, who I love the guy. He's great. He's founded a company called Strategic Coach. And I heard him one day talk about two types of entrepreneurs. There's treadmill entrepreneurs and there's ladder entrepreneurs. Treadmill entrepreneurs are people that just keep working and working and working, but financially, amount of hours they work, lifestyle, don't really go anywhere. They just get older. And then there's ladder entrepreneurs, which keep getting higher and higher. And remember, I didn't say escalator. Escalator implies you don't have to put forth any effort. I don't know anything in life that you don't do anything unless you're real darn lucky that just everything falls in your lap and you make all the money in the world, life is great. I mean, you are going to have to exert effort. However, if you work out 3 times a week, an hour in the gym, the one thing that's going to increase your results if you don't change your diet, if you don't change the exercises you do, if you don't change your relaxation, your stress level, the amount of time you sleep, if you can only change one ingredient, it's intensity. The more that you put into that hour is what you're going to get out of it. There are some people in the world that make more money per hour than other people. Currently my rate is $1,250 an hour is what my consulting rate is, and I cherry pick what type of clients that I want because really the money I make is not on time and effort. It's based on leverage of models and scalable models that I use. But the point is there's ladder entrepreneurs and there's treadmill entrepreneurs. And whenever you can put yourself in the position of getting on the ladder, that's exactly what you want to do. And when you said the term decide, the word decide actually comes from the Latin word homicide, which means to kill off. And when you truly make a decision, that decision is you've cut out other options. You've killed off the option. When you really get married to someone and say, yes, I'm committed to this person forever, then you've killed off the option of, going out with other people. When someone says, I'm really going to take my business to the next level. Everybody talks, it's marketing copy all the time. I use it, take your business to the next level. Take your life to the next level. I mean, what the hell does that mean? It means making a decision, a fundamental decision that you're going to transform your business, your life, your future. And people that really make that decision it's not all the things they learn from the seminar or the guru or what. I don't even like being called a guru. A lot of people call me a guru.
I hate that term.
Yeah, I mean, I lead people to a certain degree. Some people say, you're a motivational speaker. I'm like, no, I'm not. I don't even believe in motivation, because the fact is, you can inspire motivation if it currently exists in someone, but someone that has no motivation whatsoever, I mean, what are you going to do, motivate a rock? So, you can inspire certain people that already have it attitude-wise in their minds in order to do better. So, you just kind of take smart people that have already made a fundamental decision to do better, and you just guide them. You give them suggestions. You give them direction, confidence, and capabilities. And so the smart people that are on this call and the ones that will come to the seminar, what they're coming for is direction, confidence, and capabilities, and you're going to help people that already are making movement anyway. And you make a decision. You're either going to do it or you aren't. And I hope I don't sound offensive to anyone. I mean, I really like seeing potential realized. I also realize that potential means you just haven't done it yet. And there's so many people that just squander opportunities that are right in front of them, and they're so darn close to just moving to the next level, to use that term, and they don't. That's what really frustrates me. So sometimes I get kind of, I don't know, maybe a little riled up in the way that I say it. But
and that's, it's funny that you mention that, because I have a friend of mine that I've known probably for about 4 years. He has this, I'm not going to say what it is, but it's a very unique way of buying and selling cars. It's the most unique ever that I've ever heard of. In fact, if he created the program that he could teach other people to do this, because he's only a one-person operation. Mm-hmm. But what I've told him over and over, I mean, I can see the potential in it already. I mean, he once he first described it to me, I'm like, man, we could explode this thing. I mean, I was just getting excited.
Well, see, that's what a marketer does. You notice opportunities in ways that other people don't, because you have your antennas pointing in a different direction than the average person.
But what's frustrating is that, and I talk to him probably maybe 6 times a year. He lives up in New York and stuff, and we have basically the same conversation each and every time. I'm like, well, when are you going to do it? When are you going to do it? When you? Well, he finally wrote a book, and to try to at least make an attempt now to do it, and and it needs some work on stuff like that. So I'm working with him to try to straighten it out. But he started at least moving forward on this. Now it's taken him 4 years to actually move in that direction, but the circumstances that he had previously, he was in a comfortable situation.
Right.
And he was, it's like a story. I lived down in Mississippi for about a year. And
why? That's too close to John Childers.
I know.
I mean, what the heck are you thinking?
Well,
John's a good friend of mine. He's going to be at your event.
He's going to be. In fact, that's where I am right now. I'm at John's seminar.
You're kidding.
Out in Santa Ana.
No, this is how pathetic I am, and I know this is probably in your sales letter that even has me in it, which I haven't read. You're completely credentialized, because for one, I'm a client of yours because I've been using Audio Generator and a lot of stuff that you use. And Alex,
right.
have known for many years, and that's how I first met you recently from Alex. So that's all the credentialization I need. But John Childers is a stud. I mean, this guy is like magical at teaching people how to communicate from a stage, and that alone is worth. When I first met John, I paid $20,000 to go to his seminar.
Yeah, so did I.
Yeah. So anyway,
sorry. And in fact, we had John on the call not too long ago, and John, some people may have heard me talk about this, but last year alone, John was responsible for adding over 7 figures to my income.
Yeah, well, I've seen it. He
just from speaking.
Well, tell that goofball I said hello.
I will. But the story that I heard, a friend of mine told me down Mississippi, was this: is that there was this dog, and he was sitting on the porch, and this dog was just groaning and groaning and groaning and groaning, and it was just, it was horrible just to listen to this dog, and so his neighbor walks by and says, "Man, what is wrong with your dog?" And so the guy says, "Well, he's lying on a nail." And he says, "Well, why doesn't he get up and move?" He says, "Because it's not uncomfortable enough for him to move, just enough for him to groan."
Wow, that's a great story.
And
I like the analogy. I love it.
And that is where many people are in business, in my opinion, is that they're at the point where it's enough to complain about it, but yeah, it's not enough to necessarily do something about it. But all of a sudden, what will happen, and everyone listening right now, there's something will happen in your business where, as Joe said earlier in this call, is that you become serious about your business, serious about where you want to take your business. And what happens at that point, all of a sudden, a true decision comes through, because we've all made decisions. I mean, for example, I make a decision every year that, at the first of the year I'm going to lose weight, right?
Yeah.
And I keep that for about 2 days, and then, I happen to be in the grocery store and I pick up a bag of potato chips, and then it's done with.
I'm going to introduce you to Bill Phillips, and that will not happen anymore. He will.
And what's really funny is that my dad and my brother is really into bodybuilding and things, and so
right.
I'm really familiar with like Bill Phillips and what he does and what he has done and stuff previously. It's kind of funny. So I have the knowledge, I just don't have the motivation, let's say.
Right.
But
well, you do. You just because you've had massive success in other areas. It's just the determination to apply it in which particular area you want to apply it.
Exactly. But what will happen though, and this is something really interesting, is that when, and let's just use myself as in that particular case, when the circumstance comes where I make that true decision, it will not ever be an issue whether I lose the weight or not. It'll just be it's a matter of when I lose the weight. And that's the thing is when in business is that when we make that true decision, it's when we make that true decision that makes the difference as far as what our business will do over the course of time. And sometimes you have to get uncomfortable. The first seminar I went to, I paid over $1,400, and this was several years ago, to be there. And it was, to me at the time, it was the most expensive thing I've ever invested in. And I was a little nervous spending $1,400 for a seminar. And it was a Ron LeGrand seminar. But you know what? The people that I met there, many of those people today, and I had already an internet business, and this was one of Ron LeGrand's first internet seminars that he started to do. And I met those people at that first seminar that are responsible for, hundreds of thousands of dollars to my income, because those are my friends today: Kurt Christensen, Marlon Sanders, Dale Calvert, Ted Ciuba, Joel Christopher, George Callange, who is now my office manager basically. And that seminar brought me out and forced me to do something that I wasn't necessarily comfortable in doing, but it also forced me to do something else.
Well,
it made me make a decision.
Absolutely. How much time do we got?
We can go on for a little bit here.
Okay. I just want to ask you a question. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
I just heard this click. Like, oh my God, did the chip in my brain just kind of pop? If you were to get in a fight with Ron LeGrand, like a fist fight, do you think you could take him?
I don't know. He's a pretty big guy.
Yeah, he is. He's feisty too. I actually know Ron. He's a buddy of mine.
He's a pretty big. He kind of scares me just talking to him.
He is. He's a little. I'm just totally kidding. That's something that my friend Tim Paulson always says, and whenever I have this, the stupid opportunity to use it in front of tons of people I don't know. I mean, why not? No. Well, a couple things you said about the comfort zone. I said in the beginning that I'd like people to be disturbed by inaction, and I wasn't kidding. And this isn't a sales technique. I mean, it's the truth is making decisions that could advance you forward is uncomfortable. And usually, I don't want people getting off this call and saying, wow, that Joe Polish guy was really nice and I learned a lot. I mean, if they feel that way, I hope they do. That's good. However, I'm more interested in saying, I'm going to take a step towards doing something that could improve my future, that can improve my income, that can improve my life. In your case, you're putting together an event that is about entrepreneurism and about applying marketing skills to the internet, to offline. The fact is people can use an axe or they can use a chainsaw. If you're going to spend the next 12 months working, if you're in business in any way, shape, or form, or you want to get into business selling something, you're going to need marketing. Nothing in this world sells itself, and if it does, it's because you got supply and demand on your side, but that usually doesn't last very long. I mean, there's very few pet rocks examples or, cures for uncurable diseases that come out. I mean, most people are selling something that they have competition in. So having marketing skills is a very important thing. Have you, Armin, read the book, The War of Art? Not The Art of War, but The War of Art.
I haven't read that one. Right now I'm reading the book Blink.
Oh, Blink is great. Actually, I went and saw Malcolm Gladwell a couple weeks ago. He was here in Arizona. He wrote Tipping Point, great book.
It's an awesome book. I mean, the Tipping Point's a great book too. But right now I'm 3/4 of the way through Blink, and those of you that are listening, go out and buy the book Blink, because I think
is a phenomenal book.
I think it's brilliant.
Well, here's one thing I want. If everyone listening on the line, one of the best books, Alex Mandossian actually was the one that first recommended this book to me. It's called The War of Art, and it's written by a guy named Steven Pressfield. If anyone's ever seen the movie The Legend of Bagger Vance, Steven wrote the book that they made the movie out of. He didn't like what they did with the movie, but nonetheless, they made this major motion picture out of one of his books. And he wrote the book The War of Art he was sick and tired of giving motivational pep talks to writers. And he's a writer. The majority of what he does is not nonfiction. I mean, the War of Art, I wouldn't even want to call it a self-help book, because that would be doing it an injustice. I mean, this is a very interesting, very powerful book, one of the best books I've read in years. And I would recommend to all the listeners, if they do not sign up for this event immediately, which they should, because then they'll get all the bonuses and all the goodies, which are done for a reason, to create urgency, but also to reward those that make decisions. Buy the book, read the book. If that won't literally have you make decisions to do things that can improve your entrepreneurial business, then I'd say, don't be an entrepreneur. It totally talks about resistance, the big enemy of the comfort zone and the fear of success. And it's such a profound, compelling book. And that's what I really believe. We're not talking about marketing techniques here. I mean, given my druthers, people want me to talk about how to write an ad, how to build referrals, how to write a headline, how to make an offer, how to do a powerful guarantee. I mean, I do all that stuff. I use it every day. I've written tons of stuff on it. I've done numerous knowledge products related to that. The thing that I really know makes the difference is what happens inside someone's head when they make a decision that, there's better ways to do things. I've been using an axe. I've been using an axe versus using a chainsaw, using a more effective way to do stuff. And I want people to have a knowledge where, when it comes to marketing, that you put a dollar bill in a slot machine, you pull the handle, $5 comes out. You put a dollar in again, another $5 comes out. I'm not talking about gambling that the odds are against you. I'm talking about learning a skill set where you actually can rig your own slot machines, be it on the internet, be it in the yellow pages, be it direct mail, and you literally can control the way that you have money come into your business. And like your friend that you give the same pep talk to, how many ever times a year, versus someone that actually does something with the knowledge and the skill. Being in the how-to business, I learned early on that if I was ever going to have success selling how-to information, books, tapes, courses, manuals, that I had to focus those efforts on people that were already successful, or at least had the mindset to be successful, because the ones that need it the most, the reason that they need it the most is because they're the ones that never go to the seminars. They're the ones that never invest in the knowledge to learn how to be better. So, the same thing applies. You want to focus how to be more successful in any area of information. You focus it on people that are already to a certain degree successful in moving that way, because that's why they're moving that way. That's why they're advancing in life, because they have that mindset to do it. So I like talking about mindset stuff. If that's not obvious already, I guess.
Yeah, the whole mindset. As far as business and as far as life in general. You can. It's like if you took a group of 12 people and you put them around a table and you put let's just say a crumpled up piece of paper in the middle of the table. We'll just use that as an example. You're going to have 12 different people looking at it from 12 different angles, all thinking something totally different. And some of them may be thinking similar thoughts, and some of it may be thinking totally opposite of it. But what that is, what I'm talking about is, I'm talking about when you're looking at a business, when you're looking at an idea, when you're looking at a concept, you're going to see it from many different angles, and you're going to see it. There's no right or wrong way to necessarily look at it, as long as you get one thing and one thing only, and that is results.
Right.
That's what we're talking about, is we're talking about getting results. But, even before you get to the point where you're going through the technical aspects of it, I can sit down all day long and I can tell you how to put up a website, and I can tell you how to FTP the website up, and I can tell you how to drive traffic to it, and I can tell you how to drive, hundreds of thousands of people to your website overnight. The problem is that all of that technical ability means absolutely nothing. one, if you don't have a sound business model, if you don't have a solid business product, but also if you're not prepared, the worst thing you can do is not be prepared from a mental aspect to handle the success. Because I've seen many people have a great idea, put it out there, and it goes gangbusters, and what happens? They sabotaged it themselves.
Right.
And that's probably worse than just not doing it at all. Because what happens is if you're not prepared to handle the success that does come along, you lose everything, and then also you lost something that's more important than anything else in the world, and that is your name and your reputation.
Exactly, and for me, and that means a lot. And I mean, I'm luckily in a position where I've made a lot of really stupid mistakes. I mean, every dumb thing that I talk about. When you said, Joe, what are 3 marketing mistakes? I mean, to use myself as an example, I could give you like 400 because I've made every dumb mistake that and I don't teach anything that I haven't done myself. I mean, I don't believe in theory. I mean, it's interesting conversation, but you're not gonna be able to take it out and write an ad with it.
Right.
The thing is, to cut to the chase, think about just being an entrepreneur. I'm going to go into a different direction.
Okay.
Think about being an entrepreneur and what that means, because your seminar really is focused on people that want to increase their entrepreneurial skill set. And Dan Sullivan, let me mention something he taught me a while back. The term entrepreneur was coined by a French guy, believe it or not, named John Baptiste Say back in 1803. And he said an entrepreneur is somebody that takes resources from a lower level of productivity to a higher level of productivity. And so when you're in business or you're pursuing an opportunity, you're going to be at one place. And when people think about taking resources from one level of productivity to a higher level, they think about improving an invention, making a better soap. The whole saying of any fool could make soap. It takes a genius to know how to sell it.
Right.
The things that are really going to occur at the big seminar are taking marketing resources, knowledge resources from one level of productivity to a much higher level of productivity. And what occurs there, I don't think people place a lot of value on it as much as they do like a car, a manufactured item that they can hold in their hands. But, earlier you reminded me of something. I'm in my kitchen right now on a cordless phone with a headset, and I have a sign that's on my refrigerator. It's the one motivational. Actually, there's 2 motivational sayings on there. There's one that says, "Nothing tastes as great as being lean feels." Kind of a thing to remind me about, keep toxic foods out of my system. Mm-hmm. The other one is the most expensive information in the world is bad information. And see, how much is your seminar?
$1997.
Okay, so almost $2,000. So people are like, man, that's expensive. $2,000 to some people. Other people, dumb people actually measure the value of information by the pound. Smart people value information with wisdom versus data. People can go online and get all kinds of free advice on marketing, but the thing is that really free? You're spending your time. Is it really the best advice? Is it coming from credentialized people? Is there a guarantee attached to it?
Yeah, there's one thing I think there's one tool on the internet that can be used it can be used really well, or it can be used almost as a detriment to many people. And I was using it as a detriment, and it's called an online forum, a message board.
Right.
People become addicted to it because they feel like they're doing something for their business. Now, don't get me wrong, that there's some message boards have some great information on it. I mean, I've learned a lot from some message boards. But what happens is that people feel that they're doing something for their business by reading the message boards all the time, and they become so much addicted to it. I mean, when you look at some people posting 2,000 and 3,000 times, well, just considering the amount of time that it takes them to post, there's no possible way that they can actually be doing anything with their business.
Yeah, well, it's people that confuse activity with accomplishment.
That's exactly what it is.
And here's some interesting, revealing information. I've plenty of money to have the most decked out entertainment system in my home. I don't have a television downstairs. I don't have an internet connection at my house.
Right.
I have an office down the street with wonderful staff. Just bought a 11,000 square foot building, beautiful building in Tempe, Arizona, right next to Senator John McCain's office. Beautiful. And I purposely don't have an internet connection at home because I leave work at the office, and if I am going to bring it home, I want it on paper. I don't want it on the internet. I don't want it accessible all the time because there's a side of me that's drawn to be on the internet.
Right.
And to check email all the time.
Right.
But there are some people, like you're talking about forums, the most expensive information in the world is bad information.
Right.
Yes, you can get good advice there, but it's like sifting through piles of manure in order to find a diamond versus I just want to go buy the diamond.
Right.
And, you know, would you rather pay $10 for 300 pages of fluff out of a book or, you know, a free whatever on the internet or have to sift through hundreds of conversations with people to get some real useful nugget? You know, I'd rather just go and spend money for it if I know it's good. And you know, I mean, I don't know if that's if I'm making the point as strongly as I'd like to. But
no, I mean, I think you're making the point very clear. Is that, you know, it's not all information is not created equal.
No, not at all. Not at all. That's exactly right.
And you know, and that's essentially what you're saying here. And you know, because you know, I've seen books out there, and some of them what appeared they on the outside, for example, you know, I invest a lot in my education every year. I probably spend, I think, on average between $60,000 and $70,000 a year.
Yeah, I spend $100,000 a year, and have done so. Not kidding you. At least for the last 8 years, I've spent well over $100,000 a year just personally on my own education.
Exactly. You know, I mean, you know, I should just have a standing order. Amazon, just send me everything.
Yeah.
Because you know, I get all the books, you know, and everything like that. You know, plus I go to whatever seminars, you know, that I need to go to. Plus I order whatever tapes. I mean, I literally order everything, you know, who's ever tapes, whatever it may be, and you know, and I'll listen to them. You know, I have certain times that I do different things as far as listening to them, and you know, I listen at twice the speed and all that other good stuff. But
because you're crazy. But that's you know, the world advances on the backs of its neurotics. So it's good that you exist because you can help all these other people get there a lot quicker. I'm kidding, by the way. Go ahead.
Sure you are. But
there's always a little bit of truth in everything that says. But no, it's a good thing. You know?
But there's you know there's this information that you know that we're spending you know that myself you spend money on and everything. And when I buy a product, for example, when I go online, I see a product that, you know, what appears, again, and my point was, is it appeared to look good. I mean, the website looked credible.
Right.
The sales letter was very good. It was certainly good enough to get me to take out my credit card and buy it, buy the product. And then I get the product and I read it, and you know, I'm pretty knowledgeable about the internet. And when they're talking to me about a technique or a strategy, and when I can immediately assess that this blatantly doesn't work, but I still have, you know, faith. I still have faith that, you know, this person, you know, can't possibly be selling this information or really telling people to be doing this. And sometimes it's just blatantly wrong and on borderline of almost illegal in many cases. And then on the other side of it is that this just wasn't well thought out at all, meaning that they're trying to teach someone something that they're not even doing themselves.
Right.
And that's a big pet peeve of mine. You find that, you know, I'm not going to say you find that a lot, but in many cases you find that on the internet. So you have to be careful as far as who you take advice from, whether it be on the internet or even offline, because, I mean, some of the greatest, I shouldn't say greatest advice, some of the best well-meaning advice that we've all received when it comes to business is usually from our family and friends.
Right.
You know, you'll never make any money in that. You might as well go out and get a real job and do. I mean, I've heard that. I've gotten that story many times. I mean, heck, you know, of course, then again, I went to school to become a stockbroker and quit because I wanted to become a vacuum cleaner salesman. So,
you know, I've been through both those routes too. Not actually. I nearly became a stockbroker, and I have sold vacuums when I was going to college.
I did for 5 years. But
you know, you learn a hell of a lot about selling in those environments.
You really do, but you know what it also taught me. I mean, it certainly taught me a valuable, you know, a real strong work ethic as far as working. And I really did love what I did back then. And someday I might just go back and sell vacuum cleaners for a couple of weeks and write a book about it.
Well, no. Here, what I learned is that you know, people. I learned a lesson that that's not an effective way to sell the way that they taught me in the particular case of the vacuum cleaner. You know, what I learned now is that people love to be sold; they hate to be pressured.
Yeah, yeah. So, I never pressured, and I mean, we had crazy closing ratios. I mean, think about this: 2 out of every 3 people we talked to, we'd sell.
Yeah, that's great. So that's so what it is. What is that? That's a system.
It was
a system. You have a model. You apply it, and that's what your seminar. In a lot of ways, you're just going to have people that have developed successful marketing systems for internet and for many other ways of promotions and campaigns, and they're going to share that with people.
Exactly.
And are some people going to sell things? Absolutely. I mean, everybody makes their living selling their expertise, and so if someone wants to come to a marketing seminar, I mean. I'm suggesting to, I don't get any money if you have people sign up for this thing. I mean, I'm going to come there and do this as a favor to you, and I'm going to go talk to people. And, will people buy some stuff from me? Absolutely. Are people going to get nothing but a sales? Absolutely not. I would never do a sales pitch and not give people value. Hopefully people have gotten value just listening here. But the bottom line is, some of the best things that people can learn at the big seminar is seeing people that are enormously successful using these techniques day in, day out in their business, not just selling information products about it, that, do what it is they're teaching how to do, and you watch how they actually do it. I mean, one of the most effective things to learn at marketing seminars is watching the people doing the actual marketing on stage and watching the techniques that they're there. I love that stuff.
At every seminar, for example, where I met you, 90% of the time, you were actually in the room at Mark's event.
Yeah.
Watching.
And I will be there too. I will be watching everybody. I can zip in and I do not do a lot of public speaking.
Right.
This is the only public speaking event non-related to my niche, and I still do very limited. When I do speaking events, I make lots of money when I do it at my own events. My last seminar, I did over $1.5 million in sales at a 3-day event, and I tell my own clients that, not because look how much money I'm getting from you. It's like, no, I'm creating a lot of value because you know what? Every year, 50% of the same people are back in the same seats because So I'm really big on making a point of delivering value, because you were talking about people that they sell a bunch of things that border on illegal. I have a stellar reputation in the marketing business. I really do. And I do that on purpose because I want to keep a good relationship. I really believe, the people you meet on the way up are going to be the same people you meet on the way down, so you better be nice to people, and there's something about karma. One of my biggest focuses is in the next year is building a website I have called Ethical Services that basically, nothing's sold there. We give the money to charity, and it's a listing of all the carpet cleaners in the country that have signed a code of ethics stating that they will not misrepresent their products or services. They will not use bait and switch tactics. They will guarantee their work. And that's how I think people need to conduct business. And if given the choice of someone that will carry insurance, guarantee their work, employ people in ways that don't require them to use high-pressure selling in order to sell, that takes resources from one level of productivity to a higher level. That's entrepreneurial. And so I'm really big on ethical advertising. And it's so easy to do. You educate people, you guarantee your work, you make powerful offers, you back it up. And there's not a lot to it. It's just doing something that the average, competitor of yours will not do. And it's cool. And I definitely believe in karma. People that don't go deep and don't bond with clients and sell crappy products or services, or the best thing that they write is a sales letter, but the product is terrible. Karma will take care of them. There's,
absolutely.
The way it works.
It really does. Well, Joe, I really appreciate you taking time out of your day to be with us and to coming on the call. And I look forward to seeing you again down in Atlanta in a little under a month, actually.
Absolutely. It'll be fun. And so I hope your listeners enjoyed it, and I will share with them some very, very interesting, unique packaging things and show them how I do what I do. I'm going to lay it all out on the table and show people real ads and real promotions and campaigns and ELF strategies so that they can make their businesses easy, lucrative, and fun.
Sounds great to me. Folks, you know what? Joe had mentioned something earlier in this call. He talked about two different types of business people. At our seminar, what we have is we have two different types of teachers at the seminar. We only have one type, but at many seminars that I go to, I see two different types in most cases. What I call active marketers and I call inactive marketers. When I go to a seminar, and sometimes I see an inactive marketer, and what an inactive marketer to me is a person that had done something 10, 12, 20, 30 years ago, and they're still telling or teaching about those same things they did previously. And that's great, and you can learn many things from what happened in the past, and many of those people are pure brilliant in what they do. But one of the things that I like to have at this event, and what we really pride ourselves on, is we have what's called an active marketer teaching you, meaning these people are actually utilizing the techniques that they're going to be teaching you throughout those 3 days themselves, and they're using them not 10 or 15 years ago. They're using them right now in order to build their business. And so you're getting the cream of the crop as far as information, because anything that Joe says, Alex says, John says, T.R. Vecker says, myself, whoever, tells you the information, I can guarantee you that these people are doing it themselves at the event. We also talked about on this call about many aspects about business itself, but one of the things is a guarantee, and that people asking for their money backs and things of that nature. Well, this is our 5th seminar. We've taught well over 1,000 plus people at our events, and this is our 5th time we've done it over the last few years. And you know what? We're really happy to say that over the course of this time, we've had certainly 30% of our seminar every single time are repeat customers coming back, either from that previous seminar or from other seminars prior to that, coming back to that event over again. So that's one great thing. If we had if our seminar wasn't worth it, they wouldn't be coming back. That's the point that I'm trying to make. But second of all, throughout the 5 different seminars that I've done, I've never, ever given anyone a refund. And the reason I haven't is because no one's ever asked for one. And again, what I'm trying to say is that if our seminar wasn't worth what it is, people would have asked for their money back. My guarantee is very simple at my seminar. If at the end of the first day you're not entirely 100% satisfied with everything that you've learned up until that point, just come up to me or one of my staff and ask for a refund. We'll give you all your money back, and you can keep all our bonuses to keep and take them home. It's real simple. It's not very complicated at all, and we'll write you a check right there on the spot. So it's really simple to take advantage of that. But again, over the course of 5 seminars, we never had to do that. What you want to take a look at right now is to actually at your business, and there's only one question really to ask. The question is this: is your business making you the money that you want it to make? It's either yes or it's no. If it's yes, then congratulations, and I wish you doing the best. The other question I'd ask you, though, is would you like to make more? If you're not making enough money in your business, then you need to do something differently. You need to do something many times drastically differently in your business. Well, what we have at our seminar, and the way I like to explain it is the way a good friend of mine that we mentioned on this call, John Childers, said. The best way that you can learn business and to learn and to become successful and wealthy is to simply find someone who has done it already and become essentially an apprentice of theirs. Find out everything there is to know about that person, and if they're doing what you want to do, if they have done what you want to do already, then you just need to find out and talk to them and let them teach it to you. And that's what we do at our seminars. We take the people that have done it already, not are going to do it because, again, they haven't done it yet. We're talking to people that have already done it, that have developed a time-tested and proven system that works and literally makes millions of dollars a year doing it. I mean, I don't know what every single one of our speakers makes, but I can tell you this. The ones that I do know off the top of my head, probably 7 out of the 10, I know exactly what they make in rough numbers over the course of a year, and they all have multi-million-dollar businesses. And you can obviously learn from what these people are doing. Now, over the course of that 3 days, you're going to find out several different things. You're going to find out about the mental side of doing business. T.R. Vecker is going to talk to you about that. You're going to find out what to do when you have generated wealth. J.J. Tillers is going to talk ways about how to keep the money that you make, because it's not how much money that you make, it's how much money you keep, which is really important. He's going to show you how to keep that utilizing strategies that really no one talks about in this business at all. John Childers is going to teach you the most profitable skill in the world. Alex Mondosian is going to talk to you about teleseminars and actually how to be a teleseminar consultant, many, many other things. He's actually working on something totally brand new that he's never talked about at any other seminar, and he's going to present at our seminar first. And he's going to present that there in just a few weeks away. We're going to be talking with Mike Stewart. Mike Stewart's going to be talking about podcasting. If you don't know what podcasting is, then you need to be at that seminar, because this is going to revolutionize everything. When the internet first came out, everyone talked about how it was going to make millionaires. And it has. We see it all the time, all around, every single day. Well, podcasting is the next wave of what I refer to as the millionaire generation. What's going to happen on the internet is podcasting is going to create millionaires in ways that we can't even think of and can't even comprehend right now, because that method, that technology is in its infancy. Hardly anyone knows about it, and all of a sudden, you're going to see ways that are going to be generated to create income, create wealth beyond your wildest belief, and that's why you need to pay close attention to what Mike has to say on that. Sean Casey, over 100,000 ebooks, and he's done it just a few short years, and he's going to show you what he's doing now and how it can apply to your business and how you can take your business to where you want it to be. So what I'm telling you is this, is that what we have a tremendous lineup of speakers. We have a tremendous amount of information and knowledge you can share. There's no possible way that most people on this call could actually afford to hire these people on an individual basis. Essentially hiring all of them on an individual basis. Most of them charge well over $1,000 per hour in order to speak with them. Now, our seminar is $1997. I've already said what it is. But you know what? One of the biggest problems I found in most seminars that exist out there is that once you leave the seminar, all of a sudden, you don't know what to do. What's the next step? So here's what I'm going to do. Is on the Tuesday following the seminar, is what we're going to do is we're going to do a follow-up call, in which we're going to take you through and kind of walk you through step by step how to implement many of these strategies. Some of you are going to be working with some of the speakers there, but we're going to take you through and we're going to go through a follow-up strategy. Then every month after that, we're going to actually hold a conference call. It's a 6-month follow-up conference call. Normally in the past, I've charged over $1,000 just for the 6-month follow-up system after this seminar. By signing up over the course of the next 7 days, I'm going to give you that 6-month follow-up system absolutely free, just for registering your seat at the seminar. I also stated on this call, if you sign up over the course of the next week, you're also going to receive the full recordings of the seminar that you will actually be at. Plus, I also said if you register tonight for the seminar, I'm also going to give you an MP3 within the next 24 hours that will show you how to double your sales in the next 60 days. What I'm telling you is this, is I'm rewarding people for doing what I feel that they should be doing already, which is coming to the event, because I feel very, very strongly about the event. This seminar, I've never had anyone ever tell me after they came that I wish I didn't come. I've had a ton of people tell me I wish I would have came sooner, because the more that you wait, the more money that you are essentially losing that's sitting on the table. I believe in the seminar wholeheartedly, and yes, of course I'm biased. Yes, my name is at the top of the website. But you know what? More importantly than that, I know the value of these speakers. I know the value of the speakers because I have bought their products. I know what these people do in their business. I know the information they taught. Tonight, we talked with Joe, and I've listened to Joe on tapes, in roundtable sessions with Dan Kennedy. I've listened to those tapes over and over again, and just hearing some of the information and what he can just represent to you and your business can be just astounding. It's kind of like this. In business, every day we wake up in the morning, and all of a sudden we realize that there's all kinds of things to do. It's kind of like going through a minefield, if you want to think about it like that. Think about this. You're standing at the end of the road, and all of a sudden, at the other end of the road is the end of the day. And in front of you is just a minefield. Because as you're walking down this road, if you step to the right in the wrong direction, all of a sudden, boom, something goes wrong, something happens. You step to the left, all of a sudden, boom, something goes wrong, something happens. You don't know exactly where the mines are every single day, but we try to weed our way through the mines, and yes, we step on a mine every now and then, but wouldn't it be easier if you could just follow in the footsteps of someone that has already walked through that minefield? That is what we're doing. That is what this seminar is all about. It's allowing you to literally walk in the footsteps, get to know the people that are making it happen. Plus, this is probably the biggest networking event in this industry, the network in the internet marketing industry. This is the key to it. and that is networking. Networking with other like-minded people. It is not uncommon to be in the audience, and if you talk to the people on your left, your right, front, and back who are sitting around you, to find out that these people have multi-million-dollar businesses as well that are actually sitting in the audience next to you. Why? Because they know the value of education. They know that they don't have all the answers. Nobody does have all the answers. They may have done some things more than you have, and that's why they're at the position or the income level where they are, but they don't have all the answers, and so they still know the value of learning. One thing you can always be assured is that I will always be a student at any event that I go to, and in life in general, because once we stop learning, that's the times that we get our business in trouble, and that's the time where people just really destroy themselves. So you always need to be learning, but these people are going to be in the audience. You can network them. You can find JV partners. You may have a product that you need to market. You may find a person with a list that doesn't have a product. You can joint venture together. Many people walk away from our events with 5, 6, 7 different joint venture deals. That's the type of people that you want to do business with, the people that are truly serious. Why? If it's so great, I get this question every now and then. If it's so great, Armin, how come you don't give it away for free? When's the last time that you ever placed a value on anything that you've gotten for free?
Yeah, Armin, can I say something about that?
Go ahead.
Yeah, less than 3% of people in the United States even own a library card.
Interesting.
And, you can get books for free, but the truth is you'd be doing people a disservice if you gave it away for free because they wouldn't place any value on it. And a lot of people think that's just a selling technique, but it's absolutely true.
It's true, and the other side to this is that we're investing over $200,000 into this seminar, into your education. And is that a lot of money? Yeah, absolutely is. But you know what? When you experience what this event can do for you, you will fully understand everything that we've talked about tonight in this call. You will fully understand everything that I'm saying right now, and you're going to actually thank me for after. It's kind of a funny thing, but that's what happens. So here's what I urge you to do right now. I really want to give you all these different bonuses that we have. I know I piled on just a ton of bonuses on this particular call especially. Go to the website right now. It's bigseminar.com/indexatlanta.html. Again, bigseminar.com/indexatlanta.html. Go to that website, register your seat for the big seminar right now. You'll get all the bonuses. I'll send you that MP3 file literally within the next 24 hours. You'll get that. I'll tell you everything that you need to start doing right now in order to prepare your business and actually start doubling your sales in your business. All the other bonuses you'll be receiving at the seminar as well, too. It's going to be a fantastic event. I hope you attend. And again, Joe, I'd like to thank you very much for being on the call with us. And, folks, what you need to do is actually take action, make the decision that you have. And the question is this: am I making all the money that I need to make in my business right now? It's either yes or it's no. And then you know what to do. That's your answer. So everyone have a great evening. And, Joe, thank you very much again. We'll talk to everyone soon. Bye-bye, everybody. I'd like to officially welcome everyone to the conference call this evening. My name is Armin Morin, and you are on the Big Seminar Preview Series. And we've got a great call in store for you tonight with a good friend of mine, Joe Polish, and we'll tell you more about Joe in just a minute. But this is all part of the preview series that is gearing up for the big seminar. It's just a sample of the people that are going to be teaching a select group in Los Angeles on November 4th, 5th, and 6th. Now, this seminar, as many of you know, this is our 6th big seminar that we've put together and we've put on, and each time it gets better and better and better. And, the reason is because not of anything else but because of the content that is given by the tremendous people that are taking time out of their schedules to literally fly in from all over the world to teach you for those 3 full days. And people like Joe, which we'll introduce you to in a moment, people like Alex Mondosian, people like Dave Lacani, Stephanie Frank, Derek Gell, John Carlton, Michael Fortin, Kurt Christensen, and Stephen Pierce, and Rich Sheffrin, and the list goes on and on and on. And the reason is because these people have been hand-selected by me to come and teach you for those 3 full days because I know exactly what they do, I know what their businesses are, and I know if you knew what they knew and applied it and implemented it into your business, what your business could do. And we are putting this seminar on. It's on November 4th, 5th, and 6th. It's a little less, about 3 weeks away right now. It's going to be a fantastic event. We've got literally hundreds upon hundreds of people from all over the world coming in to this event, people from South Africa, people from Japan, people from Australia, people from England, and people from all parts of the United States coming into this event. It's definitely going to be our biggest and our best event that we've ever done. To find out more information about this, I know many of you have seen this website already, but I'm going to give you the URL right now anyway, and that is www.bigseminar.com / this is the important part, indexla.html. The LA is capitalized. So it's bigseminar.com / index LA, capital L, capital A, .html. If you go there, that will give you all the details as far as what we're doing. We have some fantastic things in store for you for the big seminar, things that we have done and we continue to do. We're literally giving away over $20,000 just worth of prizes at the big seminar, things that we've picked out. It's going to be amazing. You're going to be shocked at some of the things that we're giving away at the seminar itself. You're going to see someone actually go home with my BMW, my 740iL BMW that I put up, and you're going to see that happen live at the big seminar. You're going to see many, many different things happen because of the way this event is structured. We know there's several things that you need to walk home with. A is the know-how. B, you need to walk home with the contacts, which is the networking. And we have structured networking sessions like you wouldn't believe. We're going to show you how to do it, why you should do it, and we're going to give you some simple exercises that we're going to put you through that are going to give you the contacts that you need. And we make every effort we possibly can in order to build that network of people for you and help you do that throughout this whole event. It's going to be amazing. We have literally thousands of people that have been through our event so far over the past 6 times that we put this on. Literally have taught more people about internet marketing than any other seminar in the world, and you can see this live and you can experience it live in Los Angeles on November 4th, 5th, and 6th. But in order to be there, you have to do one thing. It's very simple. Some simple instructions for you is to go to the website that I just gave you, which is bigseminar.com / index LA, capital L, capital A, .html. Go there, read the website, go to the bottom of the page, and click the register button. Now, the great part about the big seminar is 2 things. First of all, when you sign up, you can bring a friend for half price. That's the first step of it. Second of all, what you can also do is participate in our affiliate program. And by simply referring other people to that website, you can earn commissions. In fact, we pay you $1,000 for every single sale. I mean, we've had people literally walking away from the seminar with tens of thousands of dollars in their pocket. We've had people walking away with over 30 sales coming to the big seminar. Can you imagine walking home with that type of check in your pocket? And we give you the checks for your commissions right there at the event. It's amazing. I'll tell you more about that in just a little bit. But tonight's call is with a very special individual, and we're going to be talking to him tonight. His name is Joe Polish. Many of you that haven't been introduced to Joe so far, you're in for a treat because Joe is a marketing madman. He has taught people from literally all types of industries, and his background is really interesting, and you're going to see how it can apply to you in your internet marketing business. But he came from basically a carpet cleaner, then teaching other carpet cleaners how to build a successful practice, and continues to do so, and actually is, I believe, the largest trainer in the carpet cleaning world today, and he just does some amazing events. We've learned a lot from him since I've known Joe, and he's just doing some great things out there right now. He's getting ready for his seminar that's coming up this weekend in Phoenix. And so, Joe, I'd like to welcome you to the call.
Well, thank you very much, Armin. It's nice to be here, and I can get started, or you can ask me any darn thing you want, and I'm happy to help in the time we have available to do.
Yeah, let's start off with this. And the first question that I have for you is because I think it's really important for people to understand where you came from and how you became basically a teacher as far as teaching other people about marketing. So how did you go through that progression as far as doing what you do in your background, and then to the point where you start teaching other people about your success methods and techniques and systems?
Okay, well, I'll give you my quick, the Joe Polish story of
okay.
my life. There's a couple things that every entrepreneur needs when they get started, and that's courage and complete ignorance. And I was really good at both when I first became an entrepreneur. Now, going back, so everyone knows the background on me, I'm now a quote-unquote professional marketer, speaker, expert, guru. I don't really like the term guru, but, it's just one of the things that some people think of me as in my own little niche. I'm a big fish in a little pond, which is the carpet and upholstery cleaning industry. And yes, you are correct. I'm the largest in the world by 10 times. I don't have any competitors that even come close, although a lot try.
And I ended up doing what I do now totally accidental. I was a dead broke carpet cleaner back in 1990. I didn't really, set up my life thinking, I'm going to go into the carpet cleaning business. It's kind of one of those accidental industries that a lot of people get into, and because they want, to make money, and they end up staying in it and deciding, am I going to scrape by, or am I going to figure out how to make this thing work? And unfortunately, and this applies to all industries, not just carpet cleaning, not just, brick and mortar businesses, or talking internet marketers, the whole works, is that, people, 95% don't do the majority of the revenue. Usually 5% of any industry is dominated by a few smart individuals that have the right knowledge, that have the right capabilities, that are really clear on what to do and how to do it. So I got into my carpet cleaning business because I needed something to do, and a friend from high school talked me into doing it. And so without going into a really long story, I spent 2 years, the first 2 years, just totally struggling, living off credit cards, not knowing what I was doing, getting technical expertise, learning everything I could about how to go into a home and clean carpets. I cleaned the carpets myself. I mean, it took me, at least a year and a half before I even got a technician, someone to help me. My original business partner, that lasted for 2 months. He was the guy that talked me into starting the business because I had money and he had an idea, but he was completely worthless. So I was stuck with equipment, business cards that said a professional carpet cleaner on it, and, really nothing to do, no place to go that I was aware of at the time. So I started in this business. I lived off credit cards for a couple of years. I wanted to get out of the business because I couldn't stand it, and I had a very interesting meeting with a very wealthy guy that made money in real estate, and he, I was telling him what I was doing in my carpet cleaning business. Could he give me some recommendations on another industry I could go into so I could make good money just like him? And by the way, this was at during a jet ski trip out on the back of a pickup truck at the lake, Armin, by the way, just so you have some background here. And this individual said, if you want to go into another business so you can do really well, it's not another industry that you're going to do well, and you need to learn how to make a business work. And he asked me, are there other people in the carpet cleaning industry making money? And I said, yeah, there are. There's a couple companies in the Phoenix area, which is where I still live. I live in Tempe, Arizona. And he said, are there other people making money in your industry? I said, yeah. There's a couple companies that make over $1 million a year, and to me, that's a lot of money. And he said, well, if there's other people doing really well in what it is you want to go, you're into, or whatever you want to go into, and you're not, then there's nothing wrong with the business. There's something wrong with you. And of course, in the beginning, that's not what I wanted to hear. It's what I needed to hear, but it's not what I wanted to hear. And I tried to justify it. And he said, well, you're like most people. You think the grass is always greener on the other side. You don't have a business. You have a job. And so you need to learn fundamental business rules. You need to learn how to make a business work, because if you go into another industry, no matter what you try to do the rest of your life, if you don't learn how to make it work, you're just going to go into another industry and spend another 6 months, another 2 years, which at that time I was about 2 years into the business when I had this conversation with this guy. He said, you're going to end up repeating the same bad business habits everywhere you go, until you learn how to make this thing work. And so that conversation, that insight, that moment was the time where I said, he's absolutely right. There's other people that are doing what I'm doing, and they're doing better than me. So what's the problem? Is it because I'm stupid? Is it because, there's competitors? And that's when I took absolute total responsibility for my situation, which is one of the things I'd like everyone to, on the line listening to, get from me. I mean, the thing that made the first impact for me was the mindset and the acceptance that where I am in my life is completely my choice. It's the decisions I make, the knowledge I access, the people I hang out with, and where I put my focus. And so to answer your question, I learned marketing because I needed to figure out how to make my business work. And even how I got introduced to marketing was accidental. I mean, I left that trip with that guy and that conversation, and I went out and I started pursuing knowledge. I started reading books, and I ended up coming across some direct response marketing information written by Gary Halbert, who's this crazy, insane copywriter who's still around. He's a total nutcase. I know Gary personally, but he's the one that originally wrote a newsletter that I started reading that got me interested in direct response marketing. Then I started studying all of the direct response marketing stuff that's out there, started applying it to my carpet cleaning business, and within a 6-month period, just from changing ads, changing the message on a piece of paper, I ended up taking the carpet cleaning company that was grossing $2,000 a month on average to over $12,000 a month within a 6-month period. And I said, I got something here. And then my goal became, well, let me build the largest carpet cleaning company in Phoenix, Arizona. And in the process, I just fell in love with marketing. I mean, there's nothing more exciting to me than you can actually put a message out there, and people will respond by sending you checks, by calling you up and saying, hey, we want what you have to offer. And I became very, very skilled at conveying powerful messages about how to buy things. So as this applies to the listener, the confession that I made at your last big seminar when I was there was I'm not an internet marketer. I mean, I'm an offline marketer. I've made my money in the carpet cleaning industry, in consulting, in doing seminars and things like that. And so everyone knows I don't make my living being a public speaker. I do very little speaking. I'm doing a big event in 2 days. It starts Thursday, October 20th here in Tempe, Arizona. I do it annually, only once a year. I get a bazillion offers to speak at conferences all the time. I'm a $10,000 a day consultant right now. I have more people wanting to hire me than I can even take on. And I'm not one of these people that say I charge $10,000 a day. You can go to my website and see it. I get plenty of clients. I'm coming to your conference. The reason I'm coming to your conference, Armin, is not only to speak, but because I always learn so much when I come to your big seminar. I mean, the one last year was awesome. Your lineup of speakers is phenomenal. Alex is a personal friend of mine, Alex Mandossian.
Who's that?
What's that?
Who's that?
Alex Mandossian.
Oh, yeah, that name does sound familiar.
Yeah. And you know what's annoying too? Can I say this is kind of a blatant plug for some of my stuff, but
Go ahead.
I just started a podcast thanks to you guys and all this internet marketing stuff. And Alex is getting more downloads than me. So everyone listening on the line, if you could just go to joepolishlive.com. And this won't even sell you anything, because what this does is it promotes my boot camp, which is happening in 2 days, and no one listening is coming to this thing because these are, it's all for carpet cleaners. But if you at least hit subscribe, I can beat Alex when it comes to how many people have subscribed to the podcast. Well, that alone will give me pleasure. And secondly, those of you that are interested in seeing how I market stuff, you can actually see it's joepolishlive.com. You can see how I do podcasts. Anyway.
Well, also, actually, it's really interesting, just real quick now on those podcasts. Many people know that Yahoo recently launched their whole podcast directory. If you don't, you do now.
Right.
The second part is, I believe Joe, I'm sure I know you're doing some things with, are you working with Paul Culligan on this one?
Yes, Paul.
Okay, and I'm sure, if Paul hasn't, actually he's right here. If you go to Yahoo podcast.yahoo.com, if you type in Joe Polish.
Isn't it Yahoo, or are you saying Yahoo? What is this Yahoo stuff?
I say Yahoo.
No, that's fine. You're from North Carolina. I mean, hey, I was fine with that. You're one of the biggest internet marketing guys. The largest internet marketing seminar in the world. You say Yahoo. Yahoo, whatever. Anyway.
I learned it from Goofy when I was a kid. That's how he said it. Therefore, it must be right. But if you go there and you type in, if you go podcast.yahoo.com, what will happen is you'll type in Joe Polish and you'll be able to see his podcast there. If you go there and you type in Big Seminar, you'll see the Big Seminar Live podcast, which is actually at bigseminarlive.com as well too, and Paul does that as well. But podcasting obviously is huge, and again, so definitely go sign up for Joe's podcast because we definitely want to see Joe outdo Alex. On his podcast downloads.
Why wouldn't we? But what I was saying about your group, John Carlton is one of the best copywriters on the planet. The guy's phenomenal, and John alone is worth the investment of coming to the big seminar by 10 times, and plus all your other great speakers. So anyway, the point is, I'm a convert of my own system. I got into marketing because I needed to eat. I needed to get business, and that's why I did it. And in the process, I ended up discovering I'm pretty darn good at this, and it worked for me, and I ended up selling some of my concepts and strategies, first starting with 24-hour free recorded messages. I want everyone listening to get something out of this, even if they attend your event or not. And one of the things I learned early on is if there's any area of business or life that you could simplify, that you could replicate, do it with the most important part of making money, which is the selling. And so how do you replicate yourself as a salesperson? That's what marketing does. I say to people all the time, the difference between sales and marketing is selling is what you do when you're on the phone or you're face-to-face with somebody, and marketing is what you do to get them on the phone or face-to-face with you. And if you do your marketing right, then the people that you're actually speaking to they have 4 characteristics. And everyone, if you're not driving, write this down. This is just a kind of an education in direct response marketing. If you do your marketing properly, the people that you'll be speaking with, your prospects, your clients, will be 1, pre-qualified, 2, pre-interested, 3, pre-motivated, and 4, predisposed to doing business with you. I'll say it again: pre-qualified, pre-interested, pre-motivated, and predisposed to doing business with you. And prior to learning marketing, look at me trying to sell carpet cleaning services. Everyone I was talking to was a price shopper because I didn't know how to convey a marketing message that would bring me pre-interested, pre-qualified, pre-motivated, and predisposed individuals that just wanted my services. All I was doing was attracting tire kickers and price shoppers, which is what everybody is until and unless the marketer, the person selling something, uses a different approach to convey their marketing message. So, I learned this stuff because I needed money, and secondly, once I did it, not only did it work more effective than anything else I ever used, it saved me an enormous amount of time. And I started using a lot of 24-hour free recorded messages. At the big seminar, I will show people examples. Now, I'm not just going to talk about concepts. I will show people ads, promotions, campaigns that have made me a lot of money, that have made my clients a lot of money. And if anyone thinks that they can't learn anything from somebody that, teaches carpet cleaners how to, make money, think about it this way. If anyone on the line who can think of any moment in their life when they've ever looked forward to hiring a carpet cleaner, well, you're probably insane. But for the most part, if someone actually enjoys that process, nobody looks forward to hiring a carpet cleaner. Nobody looks forward to going and getting their oil changed. It's one of those types of services that are sold that it's the necessary evil of owning a carpet. It's the thing you have to do to maintain your vehicle. It's one of those. It's not something like going to a movie or a concert or doing something that's fun and entertaining. It's a service that nobody wants to buy. And I have taught thousands of carpet cleaners how to successfully sell double, triple, quadruple, 10 times in many cases the same service they had just by tweaking their marketing, selling a service that nobody wants to buy. So if there's anyone that's listening on the line that has something even remotely more exciting than carpet cleaning to sell, then certainly they'll get something out of my presentation. They'll get a ton out of coming to the big seminar. And so,
it's extremely important, I think, for people to understand that, you just mentioned about, what can people learn from your experiences teaching other carpet cleaners and the marketing strategies. I'm going to go really out on a limb here and say this, is that, most strategies that people are currently doing on the Internet are not original, meaning that they're not necessarily somebody on the net really just came up with themselves. They're usually taken from direct response marketing, basically the online marketing, the offline marketing world, modified, tweaked, and then brought onto the Internet. And many of you, the strategies that you're learning, even to this very day, were strategies in many cases that were, especially when it comes to copywriting, that were created back in the early 1900s, and when it comes to copywriting, and people are just reintroducing those today and putting a little spin on it. Many of the most successful people online that I personally know, again, are not trying to reinvent the wheel. They're taking something that's already successful from another industry or from another medium, such as offline marketing, maybe direct marketing via either print or via direct mail, and then modifying those techniques and strategies and putting them online. So the most successful people I know are able to see the concept, and then number two, are able to take the concept and implement it into their own business. And that's really what makes the most sense. So one idea from another industry, I always look at who's successful in any given market, and then I look at the strategies that make them successful. That's why I like watching movies that are about people that are successful, true stories, that people have gone through trials, tribulations, and I look at their thinking process. And when you are able to look into another person's thinking process from another industry, such as Joe, all of a sudden you can see how that works, and all of a sudden you start thinking of ideas such as the phone messages that he talked about, that he's going to talk about at the big seminar, that concept is just amazing. Once you start applying that to your online business, which many people, they think because you're online that offline doesn't apply. That's totally wrong. You need to, along with high tech also comes along high touch. And I believe John Nesbitt said that, is that you need the combination of both in order to truly build that relationship with the customer. So these strategies definitely apply to you whether you know it or not, but you need to get a hold of them and then grasp them firmly and then start implementing them into your business.
Yeah, you made a good point. Let me speak to something that you said, which is absolutely critical. I have never met, not that someone's not out there, I've never met someone that makes large sums of money. I run a multi-million-dollar business. So I'm not some clown that just talks about this stuff. I'm blessed. I sometimes look at my business, I'm like, I can't believe I've actually built this business the way that I have on the backbone of good marketing, because I'm extraordinarily dysfunctional in a lot of areas. I don't like managing people. I have a wonderful staff. It's taken years to develop some of the stuff, but I've really built my business as a result of just understanding marketing, and I don't know anyone that is successful doing any online stuff that does not have a marketing mindset and does not understand marketing. A friend of mine by the name of Jeff Paul, you probably know Jeff, he said something years ago, before the Internet was as big as it is now, which wasn't even about the Internet. I just remember this, so I credit him with the first person that planted this thought into my head, is he said, technology is important, but psychology is far more important. And that's completely true. People think technology is what's going to make them wealthy and successful. If you're lucky and you buy some stock in a certain technology for a time period where you may make revenue off it. Long-term, sustainable, built growth. People that fall in love with the technology but don't understand and don't learn the psychology of how to use it, they're rarely going to go anywhere. And so, you can go into an internet business, you can go into an offline and online business, whatever. You need to understand the psychology of selling to people, the psychology of marketing. The big question mark in every human being's mind, every single person on the phone right now that's listening to us, before they buy anything, there's a question that they may recognize, that they may not, and it's whom can I trust? Before I go out and eat dinner somewhere, before I buy anything, on some level, I don't want to get ripped off. I don't want to, put myself in danger. I want a certain level of trust. And so what we do as marketers is we need to convey believability, credibility, competence to people that we can be trusted. It's no different on the Internet than it is, offline. And everyone that's already an internet marketer, we're already similar in a lot of ways. What I teach is robotic marketing, how to actually do marketing that doesn't require human beings to do the selling. If I had to rely on human beings to actually do my selling, I wouldn't be selling anything. I sell over $1 million a year worth of books and tapes and courses to the cleaning industry, and I never talk to any of them. It's just, unless I'm in groups. I don't talk to people one-on-one. I do it completely robotic. And so in the online world, it's called automation. In the offline world, I call it robotic marketing. And so, there's a lot of applicability to what I use taken online. And we know that now because me and Alex put together a program called Stick Strategy Secrets, which I'll be happy to talk about some of the stick strategies. What a stick strategy means is, what do you do after you've made a sale in order to not only make sure that people are delighted and happy with it, but how do you bond with people? Because bonding is critical. There's a lot of people in the world that are great marketers, but they're great transaction marketers. They're not great relationship marketers because they just focus on selling stuff. And most of my revenue does not come from new clients. It comes from the same people that I create value for, and I do it over and over and over again. You mentioned earlier I have an event in 2 days. This is an interesting time for me to be doing a conference, but I'll do it for you, of course. And like I said, I'm not joking when I say that I don't do a lot of speaking. I'm speaking for you because you're my friend. I'm going to be hanging out with all my friends, and I'm going to be in the audience taking notes during the rest of the time that I'm not speaking. And I'm there to learn just as much as I am to, share with other people. I have an event in 2 days here in Scottsdale, Arizona. I've got over 500 people registered right now at an average price point of about $1,100 a person. I mean, I'll make over $1 million in the next 3 days starting on Thursday. I mean, and how do I do it? You know, it's not some magic bullet. It's just really good marketing shared with people that, you know, want to learn it. And I really, and I love doing my seminars to this particular group because every one of them I'm already preaching to the converted. You know, most of my time I don't spend talking to people that don't know me and have not come through my funnel. And so, you know, I think everyone would like that. You know, how do you actually bond with people so that once you've sold them something, how do you present it? How do you package it? How do you communicate to people in a way to where they keep coming back over and over and over again so you don't just have a deal, you actually have a business. And, I mean, you're the same way, Armin. I mean, you have so much repeat clients, and how many Internet marketers do we see come and go? I mean, they don't have a business. They have deals, and so they come up with some hypey sales letter. They try to sell stuff, and then they're on to the next gig, and that's just not the way that I operate, nor is it a way that I teach people to operate.
Well, you know, the thing is, you know, and Alex, you know, puts it really well where, you know, many times, you know, people run their business as basically an event-type marketing situation where they're promoting, for example, single book. I mean, there's so many times, I mean, so many pitfalls that I see people making, and that is one of the classic pitfalls is that you're going to create an ebook, sell it for $19.97, and then become filthy rich on the internet.
Right.
And you may. There's a wide possibility that it could happen, but chances are probably not. That's just the facts. You need what's going to happen after. The question that I always like people to tell people is what's next. What's the next logical step? That is the classic question, because once you sell them this product, what is the next product that you could possibly sell them where you create, as Joe, you just mentioned, your funnel. I mean, what type of funnel do you have where they're going to go after the fact? I mean, if you think you're going to get rich off one particular product, it may happen, but the odds are against you in making that happen. So what you need to do is you need to create your whole business, and you need to create that business model. You should never, ever release just a single product. And my belief is that you should always come out with two products.
Right.
If you're doing a big-ticket item, then you should need to do a small-ticket item on the front end in order to get the masses to introduce them to the big-ticket item. You know, there's some simple strategies like that you can do, but you need to build it as a business, and I think that's the most important part, definitely what you're talking about right now. Yeah,
and what's cool about it is once you know, here's the neat thing. Once you said the term model, and model is really, really critical. You know, there's 4 M's that I say you need in business. You need marketing, you need management, you need margins. You know, you can have the best marketing in the world, but if you're not doing good margins, that's what's so great about the internet. I mean, what's the margins on a downloadable, you know, ebook? I mean, nothing. And you need a model. So you need model. I'm not saying this in the right order. Model, management, marketing, and margins. And I said it in different order just to confuse anyone that might be writing this down. That was a joke, by the way, Armin.
Oh, ha, ha.
You're supposed to laugh there. What I did in the very beginning in my business was when I was first selling information products, I would just sell courses, you know, and then I'd do all this stuff to market to people again and again. And now a lot of my things that I do are continuity, so it's just getting paid over and over again. And once you have a success with selling, be it in ebooks, you know, whatever product. I mean, I teach my carpet cleaners how to go in and put people on maintenance programs and on continuity programs. You know, there's a ton of that stuff. People are going to see example after example after example of continuity programs, and that's the difference between selling a transaction and selling a relationship. And when I started doing, you know, relationship selling, at first I thought, well, God, what other back-end products am I going to create? Because I would hear all these marketers talk about you got to have a back-end, you have additional things. There are so many. Once you have a group of people that are interested, they're not buying something from you because they're disinterested. If they want what you're selling, your job is just to keep continuing to give them more and more and more. You know, I have over 100 people that are in a $10,000 a year program that are carpet cleaners, and the majority of them have, you know, been in it. The ones that started when I started it 4 years ago, they keep renewing, they keep renewing, they keep renewing, and part of it just has to do with value creation. You know, I kind of want to change gears a little bit because there's some stuff that's on my mind, Armin, that really isn't about marketing, but I'd like to talk about it because I'm doing my seminar here in a couple of days, and one of the themes for my event is success with sanity. And I'd like everyone to write that term down, success with sanity. I've registered the website, although nothing exists on that website yet. But for the most part, I've thought a lot over the last month about why the heck did I become an entrepreneur in the first place. And I don't know how many people you have on the line right now. When you do teleseminars, I imagine they're pretty darn big, several hundred people, if not in the 1,000 range. Do you have any clue how many people might be on here right now?
Probably between 500 and 800 people on here.
Okay. So we got 500 to 800 people on the line, and it's late at night if you're in the East Coast, which it's past your bedtime, Armin. I don't know what you're doing this late. But anyway, here I am I'm on the West Coast, and it's earlier. And my belief is nobody wants to go to seminars. Nobody wants to read books. Nobody wants to listen to audio programs or get on a teleconference or a teleseminar. I mean, there are some people that may enjoy it, but for the most part, the reason that people are doing it is because they want something other than spending time on a teleseminar, listening to me, going to an event. So why do people do that? Well, the reason they do it is because they have a goal, and they want something better than what their current investment of their time in another job and in their business is providing to them. So what people really want is they want results. And if me and you could just instantly, snap our fingers and everyone would be a multimillionaire or have, a lot of free time or, enjoyable relationships or whatever, we could charge an enormous amount of money for that. However, that does not exist. So how do you get results? Well, the way you get results is you need to acquire capabilities. And so the reason that people will take the time to get on this call right now or invest to come to your big seminar is because they want results. And what your big seminar does, why people come to my seminars, why people do training is I provide people with direction, confidence, and capabilities. That's all that I sell to people. And if you think about yourself as a business owner, why are people, buying anything from you? They want direction, they want confidence, they want capabilities, they want to solve some sort of problem. And if anyone wants to know how I've done what I've done, it's the same exact thing that I'm going to suggest to everyone listening is to get your butt on a plane and come to L.A. and go to the big seminar. I mean, that's how I first got into marketing. I went to a marketing seminar. I started subscribing to people's newsletters that were far more intelligent than me in an area that I consider to this day to be the most important area of business is marketing. I mean, every business is a marketing business. I don't care what business someone's in. Every business is a marketing business. And what I really ultimately wanted when I started in business was not to make money. I used to think that's all I went in it for was to make money. What I really wanted was what money would provide me with, and what money provides me with, and which I constantly pursue more of, is, in one word, freedom. Freedom. And everyone listening, just write the word freedom on a piece of paper in front of you and really think about it. And if you sit and think about all your goals, why are you on this call right now? If you're in business, why did you go into business in the first place? If you've switched careers, why are you doing it? Is it because you want more money? Well, yeah, but why do you want the money? I mean, what does that actually do? Money in and of itself does not necessarily mean anything. I have a lot of friends that have enormous amounts of money, and some of them, don't really have great lifestyles. And so what I see happen all the time, and one of the things I'm going to share with people at my seminar this week, and I would love to if your group is up for it, I'd love to talk a little bit about this at the big seminar, is to show people some of the processes. I have a process called the fun tool, where we help people identify what it is that's actually fun for them, because I see so many entrepreneurs that they have all this passion and all this enthusiasm to go out and be creative and have their own business and have independence and freedom, and they end up becoming enslaved in their businesses. This pursuit of money becomes like a prison with golden handcuffs. And so I'd like everyone to just really be in touch with what do you really want in business, and where are you going to go? And I mean, there's an investment to come to the big seminar. It's going to be a money investment. There's also going to be a time investment. There's three things that people can spend. They can spend time, they can spend money, or they can spend energy. In order to get anything better in life, you're going to have. It's just not going to come down from the sky. You're going to have to spend some time, spend some money, spend some energy. And you know what? A lot of people would think that coming to your event is expensive. One of my favorite lines, and I'm telling people to take notes here. Of course, don't do this if you're driving, but write this down and just remember this. Even if we never meet in person, this is I have this on my refrigerator. It says the most expensive information in the world is bad information. The most expensive information in the world is bad information. And the reason why people should come to your event, if they wouldn't be on the call right now if they weren't interested in something that you're doing, in something that you've conveyed in one of the invitations, the emails. People would not be on the line right now listening to us if they didn't want something better in their business, in their life, in some part of their situation. And you're going to put in the time anyway doing this stuff. You might as well shorten the learning curve. I mean, you guarantee your event, don't you?
Absolutely.
What's the guarantee?
It's very simple. If at the end of the first day, if they're not happy with what they've heard so far, just come up to us and we'll give them a full refund right there on the spot. Okay,
so having said that, unless someone absolutely doesn't have any money, or at least they think they don't have money, there would be objections in their mind. Well, I could learn this on my own. And yet, you can. I mean, I've learned a lot of stuff on my own, too. People ask me all the time, did you get a degree in marketing, Joe? And I'm like, yeah, no, this is kind of a clever line. I say, like Abe Lincoln, I'm self-taught. And, my self-teaching, though, I've spent over $500,000 on my marketing education. I mean, that is not a lie. It's not an exaggeration. I've spent over $500,000 on my marketing education. There's no way in less than an hour on a teleconference I could teach everyone everything I know, as much as I would love to. I mean, I'm not getting paid to do this, and you're not paying me to come to the event. I mean, one of the quickest ways to learn something is teach it to other people. I became genuinely interested in marketing, and I thought, wow, I'm going to go into the marketing business because, for one, I really like it. It excites me. I would do this stuff even if I didn't get paid for it, and how could I really accelerate my results, which is all I wanted in the first place? Well, I start teaching other people. Well, how do you accelerate your results where you're at right now? You go and learn from people that know more than you, and it's not just what they're going to learn at the event. I mean, we all talk about all the great speakers and all that stuff. I mean, as well as I do, one of the biggest benefits of coming to the event is all of the contacts and all of the people that you meet there, and you're sitting in a room of individuals that are all focused on having a transformation in their business on some level. The one commonality, no matter if someone's doing well or they're financially or not, is that they're all there to improve themselves. And so, the message I'd like to convey to everyone is that, there's two types of suffering. My friend Dan Sullivan says this. Two types of suffering in the world. There's short-term and there's long-term suffering. So people need to determine which one they want. And being successful in business, I mean, there are times where I, do my thing in the day, and it's difficult. It ain't easy. There are times where it is difficult. However, how I'm able to deal with adversity, how I'm able to deal with business challenges, my capabilities, because of all of the seminars I've attended, all of the people I've hired, all of the knowledge I've absorbed, I'm so much more capable today than I was when I first started doing this. And it's because I continually am always seeking how to learn and get better and better and better and better. And that's what I really appreciate about people that will late at night get on a teleconference. I mean, most people don't even realize this. The majority of this wonderful country, the United States, you probably have people from all over the world listening, the majority of people in the best country, in my opinion, on the planet will not do what everyone's doing right now. I mean, less than 3% of the American population even own a library card. It is amazing to me how much information is available to people on how to be more successful, how to have better relationships, how to raise better children, how to be in great health, and people do not avail themselves of it. And I mean, look at your situation. You have a seminar, 3 days, where if you collectively took all of these individuals and tried to hire them one-on-one, it would cost tens of thousands of dollars.
Oh, definitely.
To do that. and you've put in all the work so everyone else doesn't have to, and you present it and you 100% guarantee it, and people, why wouldn't somebody go to that? And so, well, it's either because they don't believe it or, they're not interested. No one would be on this call right now if they weren't interested. So they're listening, so they're interested. So what a lot of these barriers to success have to do with are just the barriers psychologically, the psychological barriers. And so, what I would just like to encourage everyone to do is that, money doesn't solve everything. And the focus of your seminar is, how to make money. I mean, the huge focus of it is how to make money. That's what I teach people how to do, is how to make more money using the same systems I use. Money doesn't solve all problems, but I'll tell you, the problems that I like in life are the ones that I can write a check for and they disappear. Because if you've got enough money to solve the problem, you don't have a problem. That's another thing that my friend Dan Sullivan has said. And I'm a capitalist. I love pursuing money, and I think money used properly will allow you to buy freedom. It will allow you to go to better schools, send your children to better schools, get better medical care, make better choices. And really, aside from financial freedom, the reason someone becomes an entrepreneur is they want time freedom. They want relationship freedom. I mean, there's nothing worse than hanging around a battery-draining individual because you need money. I mean, I fire clients whenever they're a pain in the butt. I mean, one of the greatest, I tell my clients this. So I said, if you're an entrepreneur, the greatest thing about being an entrepreneur is you write the rules. As long as it's moral, ethical, legal, you can do whatever the heck it is you want to do in this country. And there's so much knowledge and capabilities totally available to anyone if they're just simply willing to go out there and do it. So, I have the number one selling marketing program in the world right now at Nightingale Conant. Nightingale Conant is the largest, producer of audio learning programs. Nightingale.com. If anyone, you can do a free trial on my program if you want to go get it. However, if anyone's going to invest money on this line, invest money coming to your event, because if you put in the time already, and I've seen your event before, I mean, I absolutely know it is worth many, many, many times what it is the investment is, and you have ecstatic people that are there. I mean, people can go to your website and see all the testimonials. I mean, you're not paying these people to say this stuff. People are getting results, and it's right there available for you. Just do it. I mean, it's the same stuff that I did in the very beginning, was just that decision. The first seminar that I went to back in 1992 cost me $2,000 to go to, and I didn't have the money to do it. I had to put it on a credit card, and I was so freaking scared. I was like, oh, my God, I'm already thousands of dollars in debt, but, I did it, and it wasn't just the seminar. It wasn't this magic seminar that allowed me to do what I do today. It was the fact that I had the mindset that, the mere fact that someone is willing to have the courage, willing to have the ability to make a decision to invest in themselves like that. It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. If you get support from anyone else, Woody Allen said 90% of success is just showing up. And, I mean, I believe that to be so true. 90% of success is just showing up. And so if anyone wants more success, more money, better capabilities, the first step is just show up. And what I was going to say about the Nightingale Conant thing, I go on a lot of tangents, obviously. You know that, Armin.
I just let you go.
Yeah, I know. It's like
an
Energizer bunny.
You'll come back sooner or later. So.
Yeah, I know. But, in the Nightingale Conant program, we've got the number one selling marketing program at Nightingale. It's put together by me and my partner on it, Tim Paulson. And Tim's, by the way, he's speaking at Dan Kennedy's seminar very around the same time as yours, and I decided to go to your event instead of Dan's.
That's right.
And because truly, I mean, there's going to be so much good stuff at your event, and there's what we teach on the Nightingale Conant program is very similar to what I was talking about with freedom. Is that there's two types of businesses that you can have. You can have an ELF business, and ELF stands for easy, lucrative, and fun, not just the tiny little guys that show up at the holidays. ELF is easy, lucrative, and fun, or you can have a half business, which is hard, annoying, lame, and frustrating. And you can also have a hard, annoying, lucrative, and frustrating business. But after all the years, I've been doing this stuff for over a decade now. And, I've looked at all of the different ways that somebody could sell something. And I put it in two categories, where you can either do it ELF, where it's robotic, where it's replicatable, or you can have half, where you can make a lot of money, but man, I mean, it's just so convoluted. There's so much complexity. And I'm a person that I have to simplify things because my brain comes up with a bazillion ideas a minute. I'm a great starter. I'm a terrible finisher. I can't follow through with anything. So what do? I have a support team that takes a lot of my ideas and a lot of my concepts and they make them happen. But I didn't have that when I first started. So how do you grow a business if you're great at ideas but you have poor follow through? And this is not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, most entrepreneurs are high quick start individuals that frankly aren't really good at following through with stuff. Well, you do it by setting up ELF marketing systems. 24-hour free recorded messages, consumer awareness guides, things that actually do the selling 24 hours a day, 7 days a week without you even being present. And I could show people example after example after example of this. Used it with over 4,000 carpet cleaners. We use it in the auto industry. We use it in pest control. We use it in heating and air conditioning. We use it in a variety of Internet businesses. Bill Phillips, the author of Body for Life, he's been one of my clients since 1996. He's worth hundreds of millions of dollars. My seminar this week, the owner of Trim Spa, the Anna Nicole Diet supplement, the owner's going to be at my boot camp, to learn marketing. Trim Spa has been a, client of mine for several years. I mean, it doesn't matter what business someone's in. There are ELF marketing systems that you can use that can replicate you over and over again. So not only does it allow you to make more money, not only do I feel it's the most ethical way to market and promote your services because you're never high-pressuring people, you're never having to sell face-to-face, it just saves you an enormous amount of time. And so coming to the seminar, the big seminar, will be a time investment. It will be a financial investment. But if you weigh it against all of the time you're going to have in the future in your business, by the fact that the average person that comes to your event that implements even a smidgen of anything that they learn there will make multiples of what the investment is. By not coming to the event, you're going to spend a lot more time in the future. You're going to spend a lot more money. So I look at coming to your event is not just where they're going to learn a bunch of great new techniques and ways to generate money, but I see it being transformative in every area of their life. I mean, nothing has been more transformative to the enjoyment of my life than, learning marketing. And I mean, I don't know if I can convey it in words, but that's how I feel.
But I think it's a very common theme with all marketers, at least all successful marketers, is the fact that the joy of learning. Makes it so much easier to do your job because you actually like the learning, you like the experimentation, you like to find out new techniques that actually work. It's the thrill of this whole process that tends to excite people most of all. Yes, money does have a point into it, but after a certain point, money is no longer the driving force. I mean, any one of us could retire right now, and we'd probably have plenty of money and wouldn't have to worry about too much into the future. But the process is something different. I mean, that's what really drives a person, is finding out the process, learning something new. I mean, I am a total addict. I mean, I am a learning addict. And that's why I can stay on the Internet literally all day, because anything I want to know is literally at my fingertips, and I can look up all kinds of crazy things. If you look through my search history, I mean, people would probably just laugh and laugh and laugh. Why would I even look up stuff like that? But I found out also in learning those different techniques. I mean, I may not ever use half or even a quarter, maybe even a tenth of the things that I look up and learn, but I do reference those back time and time again. But the process, that you talked about, where you got started, you went to a seminar in order to initially, launch your business and things of that nature. You paid $2,000 back in 1991. 15 years ago. That's that same process is what many marketers, successful marketers, have done. Is they went to a seminar, they saw the bigger picture. You know, I was a long time ago, I was involved in basically the network marketing industry. I did a lot within the network marketing industry.
I apologize in advance right now. No, I'm kidding.
But, you know, I learned a lot. I met some really influential people when I was very, very young.
You know, I think everyone that has had some level, there's had to be a multi-level period of everyone's life.
I think everyone did. Some people succeeded, some people didn't.
And you know, even to this day, I'm sorry, I'm interrupting. Even to this day, the only people that do well at multi-level are still ones that really understand selling and marketing.
That understand marketing.
Yeah, you know,
I see some great strategies in there, and you know, and whether people on this call, I don't know if they know this or not, but most of the affiliate techniques that are created to this day and brought into the internet marketing world have come almost directly with a shotgun from the network marketing world. The strategies that we're using today, in fact, there's strategies that world has adapted and implemented into their online, and I'm just talking online business, I'm not talking offline, into their online business, no one's been able to fully implement. And, we're on a strong move to try to implement even some of those strategies without going into the multi-level industry, obviously, because that's not what my focus is. But one of the things that I learned, I forgot my damn point, but if I keep talking, though, it'll come. But one of the things that I learned from that particular industry was that the power behind these seminars. And in that case, many of that marketplace have seminars, what I refer to as a rah-rah type seminar. Basically, you get really excited about the process, about the company, and the products, and then you go home, and hopefully some of that lasts a period of time, and then hopefully that you will do something. And that works for some people, and many times it doesn't work for other people. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm not condemning that or anything like that. But what I'm talking about is more of the bigger picture. Because what that event did for those many people that went there, I went with a friend of mine. I went to an Amway meeting, which I'm sure many people on this call probably have done, except I went to one of their big conventions. I went to one of their big conventions with 40,000 people in a coliseum in Massachusetts, and there were 7 of these going on at the same weekend. It was amazing. Blew my mind. I saw the bigger picture that all these other people were doing this, and I still didn't join, but I saw the bigger picture of this whole process. And that's what this seminar, that's what my seminar, that's what Joe's seminar, that's what many of these marketing seminars do, is they let you know, first of all, that you're not by yourself. You are not the only one doing this in the world. There are literally millions of people online right now, and a lot of those people are making a full-time living on the Internet, and you can do it too. What it does is it puts you in contact and in touch with people who are like-minded like yourself. That's the beauty to me. That we found, and the response that we received from the big seminar is that you can finally talk to people that know what you're going through. I find it very difficult to talk to my friends that are not involved in their own business.
I personally, I can't really do it. I like hanging out with entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Because, I've said this before. It's like the average entrepreneur deals with problems on a mental level that are more intense than the average employee. Not all. There's some wonderful. I've amazing entrepreneurial thinkers that work for me as employees. So you can be entrepreneurial in a job. You can be entrepreneurial in your own business. The entrepreneurial thinker spends, more mental focus between 9 to 10 a.m. Monday morning than the average person does in an entire work week. And frankly, those are the people that excite me. I like talking to people like that. So that's why you go to events like yours, because you're immersed in those types of individuals. When you said that Amway thing, that's, regardless if it was Amway or whatever, there's a bunch of individuals in a room. There's something going on that's like bigger than what you see in most cases. And whatever you want to call it, I think the best way that I would describe it, that's just inspiring. And so, I don't implement 1% of all of the things I learn, but the process of learning, this is what it does for me. It keeps me constantly stimulated. And even if I don't implement something, if I just pick something up, it's like working out. It just makes my mind better. It makes it more efficient. It makes it more effective. And that's why the process of learning is so great. I had lunch with Dan Sullivan. He started a company called the Strategic Coach, which is the largest coaching program in the world for high-level entrepreneurs. You got to make a minimum income of $200,000 a year just to even go there. And he has this line that he says all the time, which are the skills that get you out of Egypt are not the ones that get you into the promised land. And the point is, there's two ways we need to go. Well, for one, we need to get out of bad situations if we're into them. And after we've gotten out of a bad situation, that does not necessarily mean that instantly puts us into a better situation. So we're constantly learning. I mean, the moment that someone quits going to events, quits reading books, quits educating themselves, that's, I think, when their life starts going downhill. And I will never, ever, to the best of my abilities, allow that to happen to myself. I mean, I don't want to retire. I mean, to me, the thought of retirement is, gosh, I hope I'm doing this to the last day of my life because it's cool.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that, retiring is, I just don't see that happening for myself either, where you sit around and define, it's like, how do you define retirement? You sit around and do nothing? I mean, yeah. I truly don't think anyone sits around and do nothing. I think they just take their energies and devote it to something else. And, the sad part is that the idea of retirement in many people's minds is not having to work for someone else, but being able to sit around all day and do what you want to do. I'm doing that now.
Exactly. I think retirement, what they really think, it goes back to what I said in the beginning. Retirement symbolizes freedom. And so the point is, if you don't have freedom in your life right now, even if you make a ton of money, the term success with sanity, I mean, working 12 hours a day, nonstop, never having vacations, I don't care how much money someone has, that's not my definition of success. Never seeing your children, if you're a parent, is not a definition of success. Having horrible relationships with people is not success. It doesn't matter if you have millions of dollars. So, why are you doing all this stuff anyway? You're doing it because you want freedom. And so the best way, I mean, people that are going to come to your event, people that are going to be on this call right now, a lot of where they go with it is their own choice. I mean, it's available. You've made it a can't say no offer, and you'll have some people that are looky-loos that have, they're not ready. They haven't made a decision to, take their life to another place. The type of people that will show up at your event are people that have made a fundamental decision that they want to have a transformation in their life. And that's what's going to get them on a plane. It's going to get them to make a phone call, go to the website, whatever, and say, I'm going to make a decision, and I'm going to do something differently. And that's 50% of the battle, is just getting through all the crap about talking yourself out of it. I mean, what's someone going to lose? Some time and some money? Yeah, assuming they don't do anything. But the thing is not what you're going to lose or what it's going to cost. The real cost is if you don't show up, if you don't go there. I mean, when I do my events, I've surveyed people that come to my events, and the average income increase within a year, and this is for carpet cleaning companies, is a $40,000 increase in income. And so people that don't come to my events that happen to be in that industry, which is probably like no one on this call, they lose $40,000 by not coming to the event. I mean, what I got started from just the relationships from your last event of what it's going to do in the future, I haven't quantified it, but it's hundreds of thousands of dollars. This whole podcasting thing that I'm on now,
right.
I'll even share with people at your event what I'm doing with podcasting. It is hysterical. I haven't even gone out to my own list, and something like 6,000 people have listened to my podcast. It just cracks me up. And this is, to me, I'm not in love with the technology of podcasting. What I want to learn is the psychology of how to use podcasting to the best of my abilities, because I guarantee, Steve Jobs, they just came out with the video iPod, so they're going to be podcasting, television shows and stuff, that people can purchase. I mean, and where is all of the cutting edge, how to use the marketing aspects of that going to be taught? Out of all the places in the world where someone can learn about not this new technology. I mean, you can learn about the new technology by typing in podcasts on the Internet. The key is, how do you learn how to market with it? Well, you start by going to the big seminar. That's where you learn the stuff. That's where I learned it. That's where I met Paul, and that's the deal. So, I mean, there's so many just amazing things that could come out of it if someone simply makes the decision that they're going to do it.
Sounds
so I'm
good.
sorry, I'm going on a tangent. Did you want to ask me any particular questions about anything that I may not have answered?
Yeah, I want to ask you one very important question, and that is, and I know you've alluded to it throughout the call, but give everyone a quick synopsis about what it is that you're going to actually be teaching them at the big seminar in a few weeks.
Okay. One of the things I'm going to really go over is robotic marketing. What is robotic marketing? What does it look like, and how do you actually do it? How do you use a 24-hour free recorded message? How do you communicate a compelling message? I'll show people actual campaigns and marketing strategies and how to actually do those campaigns and marketing strategies. The difference between a $1 bill and a $100 bill is the message on the paper. And, the difference between a website on a 14-inch screen and a website on another 14-inch screen is the message on the website. So what do you say? How do you say it? How do you convey and communicate in ways that compel people to want more and to do business with you? And so I'll take people through the process of how to do that robotically without requiring manual labor, how to do it online, how to do it offline. There's a great line that me and Alex Mandossian say, which Alex came up with this. I hate giving him credit for this. It's such a good line. But listen to this. It's you might have heard him say it. The only thing worse than singing the wrong note is singing it louder. And most people in business, I don't care if it's online or offline, they're out there trying to sell stuff. They're trying, getting a new job. How do you do that? Everything we do in life is on some level selling. If someone says, I can't sell, all they're doing is selling themselves on the fact that they can't sell. Everything that we do is designed to influence and persuade people. Now, there's different ways to do it. You can do it in an ethical way. You can do it in a hypey way. You can do it in a BS way. So the difference between hype used ethically and hype used unethically is hype used ethically is just massive enthusiasm for what it is that you're selling. And so I have ways and methods that have worked successfully for me and thousands of people that show people how to convey with massive enthusiasm and totally robotically what it is they're selling and how they sell it. And that's what I'm going to share with people at the big seminar. And I'm not going to talk about it. I will show people actual examples so they can see, yes, I can go back and take it. And I spoke at your last big seminar, and I have a variety of people that have given me testimonials and have made a lot of money from my presentation. And the same thing's going to happen this year. So I hope. Are we ending the call now, or do we go on more time?
We get a few times if you want to talk about something.
Okay. No, I just want to let everyone know that nothing that I ever talk about is theoretical. I don't talk about anything that I have not done myself, that my clients have not done themselves. I think there's nothing worse than some speaker getting up on stage and talking about concepts and strategies that have never been tested in the real world. I mean, I don't make my living being a professional speaker. I make my living conveying information to people about my tools and I'm a tool maker. I make marketing tools, and speaking just happens to be very infrequently one of the ways that I convey that. The majority of ways that I convey information about my products and services is totally robotic, in sales letters, on my website, and through recorded messages, and that's the best way to sell them. I mean, I have a website, joepolish.com. It's for my carpet and upholstery cleaners. There's my speaking schedule on there, and if you go and look, you can see that I'm doing very little speeches. I mean, your presentation is the only speech other than my boot camp that I am doing for the remainder of the year, and I've got nothing on the books next year, and I frankly want to keep it that way. I don't, I will only speak for a few friends and people that I like to where I know it's going to enhance me. And almost every marketing seminar that exists that I want to go to, I can go to. I can pay to go to it if I need to. I get invited to a lot of them for free. I'm coming to your event because I know I'm going to get tremendous value out of it, and everyone that attends will also. And so that's what I want to encourage everyone to do, because I love to meet you in person, and I really do sincerely enjoy seeing people, take a product, take a service, and tweak the message. And just by changing the message, all of a sudden you can massively improve the amounts you sell. And so what I'll share with people is what I consider to be elegant ideas. Good ideas are a dime a dozen. One elegant idea is worth more than 1,000 semi-good ideas. And so I will present to the audience what I consider to be wisdom and capabilities that they not only will impact them, but they also can implement relatively easily, because if anything that I taught was difficult to implement, I certainly couldn't have as many carpet and upholstery cleaning companies doing stuff, because most people that own carpet and upholstery cleaning businesses, they don't want to learn how to be marketers. They just want to get more business, and so they don't want to figure out how to be a copywriter. They don't want So I have processes on how do you actually communicate. How do you write copy if you're not a great copywriter? Well, there are ways to actually get the best copywriters in the world for you, which aren't always ones you pay for. Sometimes they're people that pay you. They're called your own clients. You get testimonials from them. Well, people say, well, that's not a brand new idea, getting testimonials. Well, yeah, it is if you do it in a certain way. How do you capture social proof from people? How do you get people to say great things about you? And I'll show some of the testimonial processes, so that there's no one in the audience that will leave there without having something very specific for my presentation that they could immediately implement to make back multiples of what the investment will be to come to your event. I mean, I wouldn't even speak there if I didn't know that and feel that to be absolutely true, that my presentation alone, I will guarantee that you will learn several strategies that you can take directly from it and more than cover the investment of the entire event, because I want people to watch my presentation. I'm not a polished speaker. I mean, I go off on a lot of tangents. I'm a very distractible individual. However, I do have really good marketing stuff that works, and it works for a lot of people, and I hope I can help your attendees, with it also.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Well, Joe, thank you very much for taking out time. I know you're really extremely busy getting ready for your seminar in just literally a couple of days. I know I'm heading out to Phoenix tomorrow to actually attend your event, and just let everyone know
that's right. I totally spaced that, which is...
I'm coming to Joe's seminar in order to literally spy on what he's doing.
Well, I'm giving away a Mercedes there, which is going to be really cool. I give away cars every year, and it's going to be really cool. But another thing I will share with people, because I know you're going to have a lot of people in the audience that want to write books, that want to be professional speakers, that want to be in information publishing. I'll actually share with the people, some of the things that I do at my boot camp, because I'll do over probably $1.5 million in revenue at this event, and it's mind-boggling. It's absolutely mind-boggling that people pay me lots of money to teach them how to make big money at seminars, and I'll talk about that at your event. So if anyone really has an interest in doing seminars, being an information publisher, they can do that. And can I do one last plug, because I do want to beat Alex Mandossian. If you just got on the call recently, you didn't hear this in the beginning, go to joepolishlive.com and hit subscribe, and subscribe to my podcast. It's a podcast about my marketing boot camp. You'll not only see how I actually promote the boot camp and hear me talk about guarantees and various marketing strategies, but the biggest joy that I'll get out of it is the fact that I want to have more downloads than Alex Mandossian, because frankly he's a good friend of mine, but he's also a punk, and so I want to make sure that no, actually Alex is a marketing genius, and he's a whole nother reason to come to your event. I mean, I've learned so much from that guy, and he's great.
Sounds good. So that's joepolishlive.com.
Yeah, don't you love it? You invite someone on, and here they are plugging their stuff. But it sells a carpet cleaning seminar, so no one even has to worry about buying anything.
Hey, the good part is that if that's what's going to take you for you to beat Alex, then I'm all for it.
Yep.
So, as everyone knows, Alex obviously is a good friend of mine. Definitely one of my business partners in several projects together. And as Joe mentioned, he's definitely a marketing genius. He knows what he's talking about. And obviously, we're just kidding around here, so don't go running back and tattling to Alex. But
no, heck, I wish Alex was listening to this right now. Maybe he is.
He might be.
But let me say, this is a marketing conference for online marketing. We did a brainstorm session at my office a couple weeks ago. Alex was there, and the top guy in charge of marketing for Agora, which is a huge company, was there for the whole day event. So,
right.
As much as I may not say it, I mean, I've been exposed to and work quite heavily with internet marketing people now, and I will say that big launch into it predominantly started by my association with you and Alex. And so you guys are the real deal, and anyone that wants to learn more about this stuff, go to the big seminar. I promise at this point I will shut up, give all the information you need to for the big seminar, and I hope that if anyone comes to it, come and say hello, say you listen to to me on this call, and I will certainly do my best to help you in your business. And whatever your deal is, I wish you the very best, and I congratulate you on taking the time late at night to, learn what you can about being more successful in life, because I like those people.
Sounds great. And as I mentioned, I was literally serious about me going to Joe's event and literally just by him. Not only am I going along with there, Alex is speaking out there, but I'm also going out there where Alex and I are taking our whole AM Squared team out to Joe's event as well too, because Joe's process that he has created is the exact process that we have learned from and implemented into Alex and my coaching program at AM Squared Gold. And that process is, I want to see it live in action, which this time I'm going to be able to actually see it live in action, how it's actually done. It's an amazing process, and so I'm really excited about going there and seeing that and seeing Joe's event. So I'm going to be seeing him in the next couple of days. But folks, we've learned a lot. I mean, from Joe today. One of the things that Joe had talked about a little bit earlier was about making a decision. It's about timing. One of the things that many people talk about, well, I should say they don't talk about when it comes to the Internet, and that is timing. You can affect literally anything else in a person's life except for one thing, and that is timing, where it is in their where they are in their life and where they are in their business, whether a decision is proper and right for them at that particular moment. The question is when really is the time right in order to improve your business? And I've thought about this many times in my own business, and how to implement strategies, and the question is when to implement strategies. And I've came to one conclusion, and that there is never a good time in order to implement strategies. The only time that you can really implement any type of marketing strategy or improve your business is immediately. That's the only time to do it. And the reason is because when you start timing and trying to strategize as far as when you're going to do certain things in business, and many times you really can't, especially when you're running, when you are the business, meaning that you only have yourself, maybe 1, 2, or maybe even 3 or 4 other people. When you start looking at the holidays, when you start looking at the timings that are happening, schools going back into session, everything, holidays and all this stuff, there really never is a good time. The only time that I've really come to the conclusion on is literally right now. When you think of the strategy, start implementing it now. When is the best time to start learning how to do it? Obviously, immediately, and it's a constant and ever-growing thing. The idea and the concept behind the big seminar has changed dramatically since the first time that we did the big seminar over 3 years ago. This is our 6th big seminar that we've done. As I mentioned earlier, we've literally taught more people about Internet marketing than any other seminar in the world at this point, and we're going to continue to do so. But the concept that I have is very, very simple, and that is it's what I refer to as total immersion. The concept of total immersion works this way. Is for 3 full days is to totally immerse yourself in the thoughts process and the thinking process of Internet marketing and Internet marketing strategy, business strategy, period, because we're going to learn from all types of marketing, online, offline, Internet, email, whatever it may be. We're going to teach you all kinds of strategies at this event for those 3 days. There will be no place that you can hide at this seminar, meaning I don't care if it's at lunch, if it's at dinner, if it's, if you want to relax and have a drink at the bar, you will be talking about marketing the whole time, whether you want to or not. And the reason is because this total immersion process is there for a reason. You will start to think differently by the end of this weekend. Partway through the event, you will find out that all of a sudden your thinking process is different. You're going to be around more creative people than you ever have been in your life. And when you put 400-plus creative people into a room at the same time, all of a sudden something magical happens. The synergy that affects everybody else is just outrageous. All of a sudden the strategies that are taught, and then that one idea that came from the front of the room from the speaker on stage on break, it gets passed around to 5, 6, 7, 10, 20, maybe even 100 other people. By the time it comes back around, that idea has changed, morphed, and is better than what it ever has been. And that happens. The joint ventures that you run into because of people that you're talking to, people that you're networking with, all of a sudden those become a reality. All of a sudden that concept of that person that you've been looking for years in order to do a joint venture with, in order to market your product or service. If it's someone that you've been chasing, chances are they're probably going to be there anyway, and you can talk to them live, and you may be able to solidify a joint venture deal. You may have a product or service that you're looking for a strategic partner to partner up with in order to release it. There's a strategic joint venture that's going to happen there. It all happens live at the seminar. It's not uncommon. It happens all the time. The results, as a result of people coming to the event. I mean, for example, just on Joe, I mean, he talked about working with Alex. Obviously, he knew Alex before coming into this event, but, he got a chance to hang out there. I got a chance to know Joe a little bit more at the big seminar. Joe got a chance to meet Paul Culligan there, who actually happens to be part of Alex in our coaching program at IM2 Platinum. Paul happens to be doing the Big Seminar Live.com podcast. He's doing a tremendous job with that. All these things happened as a result of the event. I mean, there's so many stories I could go into and relate to regarding what the effects that the seminar has had on people. The question is whether you are going to be there or not. Today is actually, I believe, I don't even know what the date is. It's the 18th right now. The 18th of October, November 4th, 5th, and 6th in Los Angeles. I'm here to tell you you've got 2 days. 2 days to really make a decision and save yourself a boatload of money. And here's the reason why. In 2 days, the room deals that we have at the big seminar is off. I cannot help you getting the discounted room. I believe our room rate is like $109. I believe that the actual number is $109 for the night, which also gives you free internet access. So that's another $9 or $10 savings or so. On top of that, we give you, as long as you stay under our room block at the big seminar, you will be receiving free internet access the whole time that you're going to be there in your hotel room. That's the deal that we've worked out with everybody. But in 2 days, literally 2 days, on the 20th at 5 o'clock Pacific time, that deal's off. There's nothing I can do. The hotel will not hold our room rate that long. Our room block, we've already extended it twice. We told them what we anticipated. We've met that requirement twice now. We keep extending it, and we'll keep extending the room block for as long as they have rooms available. But as far as that discounted rate, on the 20th, it all ends. So if you're thinking about coming, if you have an idea that you're going to be coming, then come, register your seat, get our hotel code, register your room, but do it immediately. And if you're already an affiliate marketing this program out to other people, send out an email to get those people involved. Remember, it's a $1,000 affiliate commission. This seminar can do so many things for you on so many different levels, and it's going to be definitely our biggest, our best seminar. Each and every time we try to outdo ourselves, and somehow we manage to do that with our whole team that is responsible for putting on the big seminar. When you come there, you're going to see exactly what I mean. It's run differently than any other seminar that I know of, and once you see how we do this, and once you see the process that you're going to be learning through, you're going to definitely fall in love with it. You're going to see why I'm so excited the way I always have been on each and every one of these conference calls that we do for 10 to 12 weeks out prior to the event. What you need to do now is literally make the decision and come. So here's what you need to do. I gave it earlier. I'm going to give it again. Go to bigseminar.com/index-LA. That's a capital L, capital A, .html. That's bigseminar.com/index-LA.html. The L and the A are capitalized. Go to that website, scroll down to the bottom of the page, and click to register your seat. Now, you can choose one or you can choose two. Totally up to you. Bring a friend. I always find out that by bringing a friend with me to a seminar, they see things that I don't, and therefore I get more out of the seminar that way. The friend can come half price. Therefore, if you split the cost on the two seats, you're actually going to save yourself about 25% off the total on each one of you on your tickets when you combine your seats together. That's a small trick. I don't know why no one's really figured that out so much, but I'm telling you how to do that right now to save yourself 25% off the registered ticket price. All you have to do is do that. It makes it really easy. Register your seat now. Register your room tonight. It's very important because we've extended the room block. We just had to extend it yesterday. We're going to do it again. As soon as that gets filled up, they're on notice to call us each and every time. So make sure you do that. Make sure that happens. And I look forward to seeing everyone in Atlanta. Well, that's next year. But in Los Angeles in 3 weeks. And, Joe, I will see you in a couple days. And thank you very much for spending time with us tonight. And, everybody, have a great night. And we'll see you in Los Angeles on November 4th, 5th, and 6th.
Adios.
Good night, everybody.